Okay. Okay, got that right in time. I thought I had this right, but I didn't. Okay, let's go to YouTube and see if my thing is actually coming out. Okay, nothing's actually coming out yet, so it says I'm live for 53 seconds, but we're not seeing that. Okay. Okay, we're waiting for Joey to come on in, and that I'm still not seeing it up live on YouTube. Let me reload that. See if a reloading process. Oh, there it is. Let me reload that. There we go. See if a reloading process. Oh, there it is. It's sometimes tricky to get these things started with all. I was putting up a new background up there. and all that. Hello, Wookie. Hello, Joey. Hello, everybody that's around. Hello. We're going to do a podcast from StreamYard today. I'm gonna add in stream Juliet Lewis. Hello, Juliet.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. That never stops being funny.
She's back and she's pissed.
She's pissed. I seen a movie just recently with her in it, and I was like, "Oh, it's the new series." She's in a new series, and she's looking hot.
Oh, is that like the cannibals or something crazy? Is that the
Yeah,
one?
girls got stuck in the woods, and now they have a lifetime of emotional feelings about that to deal with.
Yeah, she's a creep, man. Is there a creepier person on the planet than Juliet Lewis, really?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's
But hey, we may run into it sooner or later. I was busy today. See, I had to put the old background up because I canceled the service. I was paying like $29 a month here and I wasn't using it.
yeah. Well, that's why it's good to if anyone can contribute, even $5 or $10 would probably help. Just to
Yeah, these things are expensive. I figured I wasted about almost $600 letting that run for the time I didn't use it.
yeah.
But that was my mistake. I should have canceled right away. I just looked at my bank account one day and go, "They're still taking that out."
We're taking it off this whole time. We've been off the air.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's like, I could have bought a new bike or something for that.
Jeez. I'll send you something when I get working again.
But
I don't know.
if everything goes okay and I get back to where I was,
Yeah.
with ads, if they run me ads or something, I make like at least $29. I can pay for that. But I do like my back. I like my background.
Yeah, is that Cleveland or what is that?
That's I don't know what that is. Let me put it on a different one. So maybe there we go. That's better. Yeah, it looks like Cleveland, doesn't it? From the shore.
Yeah, it could be.
But the moon's in the wrong position. The moon would be in the south.
Yeah. Okay.
That looks like the terminal tower, doesn't it?
Yeah, looks good.
And it looks like the
Gotham. It's Gotham. That's what it is. Batman.
Yeah, that's Gotham City, and we're gonna tell some truths tonight. I figured I just put up the normalization of the worst of men. You ever? I was watching that new movie. What's the new one with? I stole it. Incredible Beasts.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw that in the movie theater. I thought that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, but you know the short fat guy that's in love with the the hot blonde girl.
Uh-huh.
And he simps through the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's incompetent. He simps, but he's this anti-hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's what I see stuff like that in TV, and I see stuff that in real life where the normalization of the simp, and that's the worst of male behavior, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's when you see the drooling coyote, in the cartoon, like with his eyes bugging out when a girl walks by, and the whole beaver thing, and that kind of men drooling, and thirsty men behavior. And I just think that's the worst of male behavior. And MGTOWs don't do that. To our credit.
No, no. I mean, they're always. I mean, I went today. I had to pick up some pool keys for my development. They have those FOB keys. I don't know, fob keys.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you get one? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So one of the ladies there, she's in my community. She's wearing like this tank top with these tight like pants, and she's like probably 60 years old. I mean, it's like.
Oh, the
Like, honey,
yoga.
it's like, yeah, can't you wear something a little more like there's people, family, most of the people in my community,
Right. Yeah, but you're not allowed to say that because they'll
Yeah.
say that's sexism, that's misogyny, that's if you see she's inappropriately dressed. You know how we decipher one of the things we decipher when we get people sometimes when we get people that are slow or mentally ill or psychopaths or sociopaths, really sociopaths. One of the ways that we decipher whether they're a sociopath or they just have some problems is they dress inappropriately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
they'll wear pajamas out on the street or like in this case, but it's okay for women to go out on the street with an extremely tight pair of really thin, what I would consider, I wear those things at night. They're like the hunting for sleeping in.
Yeah.
That's where I wear something like that. Like, underneath when I'm going out in the cold, I'll put a pair of those things on underneath my sweats. So when I pedal the bike in the cold, I'm not cold, but that's not inappropriate. But if I ever walked outside one day with those sweat things on my, during the summer, you know what kind of reaction I would get as a male?
Yeah. I think you're crazy.
They think I'm crazy. I'd probably get in a fight. I mean,
Uh-huh. But she was just shaking her ass. She went to go pick up her key, and I made it a point just not even to look at her, not even acknowledge her.
Yeah, don't even acknowledge it. It's like because sometimes when they do stuff like that, it's to get the reaction either way, this way or this way. Oh, hey, man, I don't have the the MGTOW thing up on this corner, and hey, go your own way, man, and all your sins forgiven. I didn't do that, did I? I'm getting so.
You got the Godfather band on today too. Oh, look at Riff gave you $5. That's a nice donation.
Yeah, Riff's a good guy, and we love our regulars around here. And I'm sorry I've been away for so long. I've been sick for so long. It's just made me. It's well, you know what it's like in the gray the gray northeast, and around this time of the year where you start getting depressed. And everything looks like that back there, and it's just the trees are gray, everything's gray. You go outside and it's gray, and there's no sun. It's been around for months, and you start feeling it around this time of the year.
Yeah, well, at least you got the next. I think it should be warming up soon. And once late May hits, you're pretty good, right?
Yeah, they say 60s next week. First sunny day, I'll get out in the sun, get some vitamin D in me, start cheering up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it becomes the spring simp mating season, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
The great spring simp mating season.
They're gonna start shaking their asses and what do you call it? Sticking their asses out. What's that called again? There's a medical term or scientific term.
Oh, the lordosis position. Yeah.
You're gonna see some of that.
Yeah, they'll go. A lot of the girls will go lordosis. That's when the backbone arches and the buttocks protrudes in that funny, like, it's very attractive to males, and that tells you they're in mating season, and then they're ready for mating or something.
Yeah.
That's lordosis, and that's one of the things we teach about in this realm.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. The simping is like I have a friend. He's like that, and I try telling him he doesn't have any time for himself. He's always simping for women. Like I'll give you an example. Like, so there was a woman that she lives in our where we grew up, and her car broke down, and he's so she calls him, who's on the West Coast, to help with the car, and he like was on the phone with all his friends back home trying to coordinate to get her car fixed. And I'm like, saying to myself, what is this all about? This is crazy. You're trying to like let her take care of her own stuff, man. You know what I mean? It's like you're 3,000 miles away trying to coordinate to get people to help her. And it's just ridiculous. That's how. But and he doesn't have any time for himself. And he's in his late 40s now, and he's still doing the same junk he was doing. In his teens and 20s.
Yeah, it's costly. It looks horrible. That's what they think about 24/7. And, I don't know if I was ever like that in my life where I thought about it. Most men will say, "Oh, I just think about it every seconds," and I don't think maybe I wasn't like that when I was younger. I mean, I had more important things to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the overwhelming urge when I was a young man, and that's something I can't take away from them. But as you get older and you mature, I mean, that should go away, and you start, acting like a man.
Yeah. I think that's the most dangerous. I think I've said it before. The most dangerous person to be around is someone who hasn't matured in their life. Like
Right.
there's no progression.
Right. Or physically, they're, probably, 40 to 60 years old, and you can say, "Oh, this is a man," and then you're tricked into believing that that's a man because he's acting like a 20-year-old kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh,
Well, you were talking. I was listening to one of our old podcasts. You were talking about some friends that you had that died prematurely because they were in their 50s, acting like they were still in their 20s, drinking beer and smashing beer cans over their heads and doing crazy stuff and
crazy things." And
had a heart attack. One guy had a heart attack. I think you
one
told
guy
me he
had
died.
a heart attack at 50. I was shocked. You wouldn't think it was his time, but he just never grew up in that capacity. It was still the college mentality, what did I call that? The frat boy mentality. They're like, "Ooh, women, ooh, beer," and smashing the beer can on the head, and then risky behavior. I do a little bit of risky behavior, but I do it on the mountain biking and everything, and that's fun too. But there's a gentle
Yeah.
blend. I know when to stop now. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I did it. I did it too in marginal stock trading.
Yeah,
But
risky behavior. That could hurt you.
well, now that I'm gonna be close to 50, it's like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from the marginal stuff and maybe a few bucks here and there, but nothing crazy like I would,
Yeah.
I think I'm maturing in that standpoint because I see retirement's in view. So you got to really make some good decisions, next, 5, 10, 15 years, or else I'm going to still be working into my 60s. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I can't foresee that. I'm 60 now, and it's hard to think. Your body hurts more, and jobs are far and few between. You're not the candidate to get the job anymore. People. There's a lot of ageism, and besides what I know, is like I still get calls once in a while to come look at a furnace or something that I set up. Old work, but hey, that you get old, and I mean, you're in a pretty good position because you've been a MGTOW for a while now, and you avoided the pitfalls of marriage. Congratulations, you won.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's say hello to Johnny Midnight and Ancient Lightning and Smurf and who else is on here today?
Yeah, a lot of legends in Black Wolves in
Black
there.
Wolves today and Wookie. We got Wookie and Riff and Riff. MGTOW Smurfs around today. So a lot of people that we've known for a long time around, and that's pretty much our target. The people, the MGTOWs we know are MGTOWs, and we don't let the target audience.
Yeah, no, but that's true though. You're right. I feel like I have won, and I'm winning too. Because I actually had a little trip up the last couple of years because I got involved with some lawyer shit, and I just wasn't paying attention, and I forgot that lawyers are idiots. They just want your money, so they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you what you want to hear to get your money.
That's a business, and they do business with it, and
yeah.
Probably the most shady business and most corrupt business in America right now is like non-division between lawyers and judges. All lawyers want to be judges, and then all judges want to be political candidates. And then that shady non-division, that there should be a separation between those things, because when you get a public defender or somebody that's supposed to be defending you, he's kissing ass to the judge.
Right, right. They're all working on it together. So
Yeah,
I got tied. It cost me about $10,000. So I just let my guard down. But in a lot of ways, they just made me stronger people now too. So I think it goes back to authority figures. Like you can't just because someone's an authority figure or has a certain amount of education or whatever, it doesn't mean they're an expert. It doesn't, it definitely certainly doesn't mean that they have integrity. So
right. It doesn't mean they have integrity, and you would
yeah,
you would assume integrity is part of that job. I mean,
yeah,
you took an ethics course, didn't you?
yeah.
I mean, that's why we take those ethics courses, so we know it's right and what's wrong, and we make decisions. But today in America, you know what I say, ethics is what all corruption is. What would I do for my family? What would I try to get away with?
Yeah. What was that professor you were talking about, or something? I
Yeah,
think you took a course where he said that, right?
that was in Richmond University. Back when I was young, I took an ethics course, and he said the root of all corruption is what would I do for my family? You look around, you ask a politician, what would he do for his family? And then you hear it all the time. I did it for my kids. I did it for my wife. I did it for my little girl. Now it's like you hear it from every man. I got a little girl to take care of, and I did it for her. And that's the normalization of horrible behavior too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like you go, oh, he did it for his little girl.
Right. So it's okay. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. No, it's not okay to hurt other people for anybody, for any reason. And that's where ethics starts declining.
Yeah. And yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. That's why, like, the thing that came up for me was just, it's okay. I got taken for a little ride. Okay. Now I'll get back on track and just focus on today and and just surviving for today and for the future.
Right.
Because that's what they want. They want us to pretty much have a mental breakdown, I think.
Right. Yeah. You give up, or apathy sets in.
Yeah.
You start settling for whatever you can get rather than what you can get.
Yeah.
Or whether that comes your way rather than what you can, as a male, force in this society and get.
Like, I'll give someone a tip right now. Like, if you're like, for a job, like, let's say you get an offer, like, say it's 40 grand. Automatic. My friend works in HR. He told me automatically you ask for 10 to 15% more, because they can give you 10 to 15% more. They want a little wiggle room. So the first offer they give you is not going to be their best offer.
No.
So ask for 10 to 15% more, and then they could say no, sure, but chances are they'll say yes, and then there you go. You make a little more money.
Yeah.
So that's a big tip right there. That hopefully make somebody some money, extra money. But yeah, you got to look after yourself. These lawyers. They told me what I wanted to hear, and I had a case that really should have won, and I think somebody got paid off. I don't know what happened, but somebody got paid off. I'm like pretty sure of it. And I trusted the lawyers, and I lost. So it's just something I gotta put in my head, and not to do again. Not to trust any lawyer, or even, like, you can extend it to, like, doctors and these type of people with these educations that
extensions of you said it, authoritarian figures. And in my case, when I was younger and in my 40s, and I was in drug and alcohol rehabilitation, and I was doing harm reduction, and everybody was doing abstinence then, and I got drummed out of it. And they said, "You're wrong, Joe. You're wrong." No, but 2021, 2022 has validated me, and we should be doing harm reduction. And in MGTOW, we do harm reduction too. That's basically what the program is. And nobody's come and apologized or offered me my job back or anything. But
yeah, I mean, that ties in with, like, the self-sabotage too. Like, not. That's you reduce your harm when you don't sabotage yourself. Because I've done that. Like, I've analyzed myself. That's one of the things I've done in my life too many times. Sabotaging myself.
You sabotage yourself for this. Sometimes it's a philosophical idea that you have, that you put in your brain, or and then you like, I'll stick with that. I'm gonna be a man. And you self-sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
But there are self-sabotagers that, like I say, a person I known in the past, as soon as he would get to a certain amount of success, he would automatically self-sabotage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because success
Well,
was too much for him to handle.
right. Right. And yeah. So like I was telling you about like my resume. Like I cut out all gaps. Like you should not have any gaps on your resume.
Right.
All you have to, I don't know if we talked about this last time on air,
Yeah,
but
we talked about this last time. Yeah.
oh, okay, we did. Okay, on air or off air? I don't
Okay.
remember.
Yeah, we could talk about things twice because we're going to cover it broad.
Yeah, just briefly. Like I would just tell men to just don't have any gaps on your resume. Don't like always let them think that you've always been busy, whether it's doing consulting or volunteer work or whatever. But that's like I was self-sabotaging myself because I was like, oh, I'm Mr. Integrity, Mr. Transparency. I'm gonna tell them the truth on exactly and everything I did in every single minute of my life, and that just doesn't work, because they get the wrong impression,
Yeah.
So you're better off just market yourself the way that's going to get results for you. And like you said, like, I remember my uncle telling me, like, oh, it's okay to tell a white lie once in a while. He was absolutely right. He was absolutely right.
Sometimes you have to avoid that by telling a little white lie or filling in those gaps or
Yeah.
studying something. You can study something for a few days if you have a marginal IQ and know about it and say, I've done that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no crime there, because if you can learn it in a couple of days, then you know it. You actually took the effort to do it. Sufi says he misses Claire.
Yes. Yes.
Claire, we can't bring Claire around because we all got too many stab marks.
Yeah. Well, she's probably moving up to more advanced weaponry.
More advanced, like a
knife,
like a crossbow.
Yeah, she's got a crossbow. It shatters gold or something. I don't know.
It's got a real blunt tip and it just shatters bones.
Yeah.
Ruthlessly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Claire will be back around and stabbing people and
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I tell you, it's but yeah, normalizing the worst of male behavior. Yeah. So yeah, so give me an example. So which one of your best examples for that? I just want to just
normalize, like I said, the simp behavior, how
yeah.
in often in Hollywood and books and in movies, online and everything, the simp is like I said in that newest movie, he's some kind of anti-hero because he's just simping so hard for him, and that's a good thing. He's simping so hard for that girl, and he does really stupid stuff trying to get her. Like, he'll run over his friends, he'll make mistakes in crucial situations.
Yeah.
A lot of times instead of thinking about the work at hand, and that's the asexuality of MGTOW. When you're working on your car, and when you're working on your car, you don't need a buddy standing next to you talking about girls, because we're going to get hurt. We're going to cut the work's not going to get done. And that's a good example of normalization. He thinks it's okay because society told him it was okay. They just do that. Or at work, when we're working with hot materials and you got your buddy thinking about girls, you don't need him thinking about girls. When you're a soldier, you don't need a guy next to you on the front line thinking about girls. Get your head in it. And that's an asexual position. When you're in a foxhole, that's asexual. You're when you're at work, it's an asexual position. When you're doing something, that's an asexual position. You're not thinking about that. But the normalization of it makes it okay for them to do it and put other men at risk.
Yeah.
It's like when I say, one of the things that would get you fired from a job I had was we were constantly moving like big pieces of metal around. There were like these huge guards. When the metal comes out of you put these guards up, and they're pretty. One thing that would get you fired if you dropped one, and then the entire weight went on the other guy, and you hurt him. That would get you fired in a second. But that's like simping. They're simping. They'll put the entire weight on you in a second. The weight of everything that's going on, and it can hurt you.
It's really incredible. Like I can think of so many examples where women just get men to do stuff for free, like all the time. Like my buddy, like he's moving stuff in the storage unit. This is the same guy. talk about a simp. I think I'm gonna have to have a sit down and talk to him and just lay it out to him, because he's getting his late 40s. Yeah, so you're gonna have a heart attack. You keep simping for these women because he's not young anymore, and he was like, so one of the things he did, like he consolidated a storage units
Yeah.
for a friend of his who's facing some legal troubles, I should say.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
he like consolidated like three, and I helped him out last week. But the thing is, like, he's doing all this work. Like, the guy's wife is the one that's supposed to be doing all that work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And instead, he's doing all the work and spending, I don't know, 10 hours a week the last 3-4 weeks, because there's a lot of heavy equipment, expensive equipment, and he did all this work for her for free. Like it's like he has like no time for himself, And so yeah, that's something that men should always be aware of, and something I see a lot: women just getting free services from men all the time. Through what it could be, like putting up a ceiling fan. I don't know, whatever it is, painting the house.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like they're just getting free shit all the time. One of my friends back home.
They just make that phone call and call the thirsty male, and he's over there in a second to do any kind of work.
Joe, my buddy was paying his girlfriend $1,000 a month to live in his house, and he remodeled the whole house. Like over a 3 to 5 year period. He made a house that was probably worth about $350 up to now. It's worth probably $550. Right, because all the remodeling he did and landscaping, and meanwhile he's still paying her rent.
He's still paying her rent.
It's like female, it's like that's like abusive. That's abusive. That's an advantage of his skill set.
You can see why society and why women would want men simping in that capacity, because it pays off for them. But on our side of the business, it's like it doesn't pay off for us. There's no upside. There's no gain for that. That's just loss after loss after loss. And I think men have to stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And
they have to be aware of it. That's the thing.
Be aware of it. Yeah.
Because they have alternative motives. But maybe in the back of the guy's head, the simp's head, he's like, oh, maybe I'll get laid.
Yeah.
Which,
No, that's what it is. It's in the back of the head. It's for that emotional support. And we won't say, what are we getting held? What do we say? I can't remember how we put that on this program.
Instead of dating a stripper, I don't know.
Dating a stripper, yeah. If you're dating a stripper, she's just a stripper, and you're utilizing the stripper, and I like that line.
Yeah.
But yeah, that can definitely hurt you, because a stripper costs a lot of money. If you're going for a lap dance every day and dating the stripper.
I remember years ago, like maybe 20 years, I was at Cheetah's, which is a strip club in Vegas, and okay. I don't go to strip clubs anymore, but I remember the stripper saying, I never liked lap dance. Like, I just, whatever, I'd go there with my friends, whatever, have a beer and get the hell out of there, but I remember one of these strippers was like, don't you want a lap dance? I go, no, I'm good, honey. Because why? Don't you want the prize? She called herself the prize. Don't you want this prize? Because she was in really good shape. She was dancing, And I look back on it, I was like, wow, what a cornball. Like, she thinks that highly of herself,
Yeah, back in the days, she'd call it the gift.
Yeah. The gift of what? The prize is what? Like being a slave to you and putting up with your shit all day?
Yeah. Oh, good. I get to buy you breakfast, and how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah. But it happens every day, That's the thing.
Yeah.
You see it all the time.
Right. Like, but men have to be aware that society has normalized that for a reason, because it's very, very, I don't know what the economy of that is, and the macro economy, but it's probably worth, probably trillions to business and government and everything. If every man would just stop simping, they would have to figure out a way to draw money out of men.
Yeah. And those are the kind of the groups that we have to be aware of, right? Are the obviously women, but then the authority figures.
Right, the authority figure.
Those two are the main. Those are the main two that are going to try to trip us up.
Well, yeah, that's family services has come in, and they say, oh, well, you got to keep simping for the rest of your life now, and you got to be a slave now. And if you're in that simp mentality, you're like, that equates to manliness. And you've heard it like, man, I take care of my baby mama's kids.
Yeah.
No, it's like, no, she's a baby mama. It's not your kids, it's her kids.
Well, I saw a TikTok video. This guy was on like Judge Judy or one of them judge shows. I don't know. I don't think it was Judge Judy, but one of those shows. He goes, and something happened. Like, it was like one of those things to test if they're the father. He goes, "You are not the father." And the guy goes, "Well, Your Honor, I know I'm not the father, but I want to say this. I still want to be a part of this little girl's life and help her out." And I'm like saying to myself, dude, it's like, come on, man. It's like you're gonna like you know what I'm saying? It's like, and everyone's like on the comment section, like, oh, what a great guy, and oh, he's a real man, and
he's a real man.
Because and my comment was, you're an idiot.
Yeah, we MGTOWs, we look at that and we go, you'd be an idiot to go back with some girl that cheated on you, obviously.
Right, exactly. She was banging somebody else. Right,
you're
exactly.
Driving some sort of manliness from that weakness that you have.
Right, being a slave. You're mannyless. Yeah, right. You're a man because you're willing to be a slave.
And that's pretty much the realization of simping.
Yep. Yeah, and everyone's cheering him on. You go, you go. And this guy was like in his early 20s. I mean, he's a young guy, but when you're young, I guess you got the energy, but it doesn't mean you should give it away. And then certainly when you're older, it's like, man, you realize you got taken advantage of, and then that creates a lot of psychological problems in the future. I think it does.
You're the on-demand strong,
yeah.
Whatever she wants, you're on demand.
Because even like I was in corporate sales, and I was always a top salesman because I just worked hard, and I was smart, and But here's the thing: I made them so much more money that I would have been better off starting my own business or consulting firm or whatever, like working for myself in my 20s and 30s. Because now as I'm getting close to 50, it's like I don't really want to bust my ass anymore for these companies.
Right? Yeah.
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 And it really bothers me because it's like, man, there's days I just want to come home at 2:00 sometimes, I'm out, I leave the house about 8:00 and I'm tired at 2:00 now. Before I could go till 6:00. I could make sales calls till 6:00 and with good energy. And then now it's 2:00. I want to go home. So it's like, I feel like I got taken advantage of.
By these that's when we feel our bodies breaking down. I know that's when in the mid 50s, I started, early 50s probably, you start feeling all that work from the past and how you start thinking about what I did for that money and how hard I worked for that money. And you feel every pain in your body. And you start, man, I don't know if that was worth it. And
go ahead. Yeah, that's right. And here's the thing that young people need to consider. And I know hopefully somebody will listen to this, but when you're in your 20s and 30s and you're making whatever, 50, 100 grand, like your money is worth probably 2 to 3 times more than somebody my age that's in their 50s and 60s. The future value of money.
Right.
It's like your money in your teens, 20s, and 30s is really strong. Like you can make some big time investment. You can double, triple, quadruple, whatever your money. Like your money's worth so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something you have to consider, and to give your resources away to, whether it's to a big corporation that's underpaying you or some broad that's, trying to just get, become baby mama number 3 or whatever it is. Right. Like you're really screwing yourself, man.
Yeah. We see a lot of really bad things come from that. We see homeless males that can't work anymore and they're homeless for a reason. We see suicide. There's no doubt about the figures of 98 or 96% male suicide and a 96% male homelessness. Them are the results of you're simping all your life for, not saving, not even being married. You're married, you think that thing's going to work out. They pull the rug out from you around where you're 50. All of a sudden, you don't have no money no more.
I know.
You have to work into your 70s. And there's no retirement. She gets it. She gets that alimony. She gets the money, and you're like, oh my God, that's a horrible. That's where I am now. It's a oh my God feeling. What am I going to do here? I don't have enough time to rebound.
Yeah, I know a doctor. He's just retired. He was 75. I'm trying not to laugh, but the guy was like, he was one of the most busy. He was one of the most popular doctors in Southern Nevada. And Henderson, Las Vegas. Whatever.
Did he give out the Percocets?
He's a really smart guy. His son's a lawyer too in town, and the guy's smart. And it's like his wife, like as soon as he retired, she divorced him like a month later or something. It's like really weird, man. It's like we know it's not weird, but this happens all the time. But as soon as he lost his utility, like the minute he lost his utility, that he wasn't raking in that money as a doctor, she was gone. That was it. That was it. She was gone. That was it. She
Right. Yeah.
she got the divorce. She did the
Most
divorce. It
football
was
players,
sickening. That's
we can see this with football players, basketball players, baseball players, and everything. The average divorce rate is 2 years after your last contract.
yeah, yeah.
Isn't Tom Brady's old lady Griselda? Isn't she leaving him?
Oh, she is? No, I don't know. Is that what they said? What's her name? Giselle? No, Giselle.
Yeah, I
That's
thought.
Juliette Lewis. That's Juliette Lewis's sister. Like she's
Yeah, Tom Brady retired last year, and all of a sudden she's talking about leaving him. I thought that was the story.
Yeah. Okay, I have to check that out. I don't know. No, I don't think she would. She still get a ton of utility from him.
Yeah, well, now that he's back playing, she's like, okay, his utility's still intact.
Wow. Well, did you read about that Boris Becker? I don't know. I sent you the article, but you got to kind of read through it. He's filing bankruptcy and he got in trouble because he hid some assets. But then one of the comments he made was, I got, his divorce took out,
Yeah, his divorce took everything.
His divorce was just devastating or something. Like, the guy made like $50 million. So even if you take, I know taxes, that's like going to have like 25 million, right? Like he went through 25 million because the divorce pretty much buried him.
Right. And that's that happens to the athletes. We see so many of them. I mean, the CBA now, or the CBAs kind of cover them for retirement, so they don't end up working at a car wash.
Yeah.
But there was a couple guys. What was it? The famous story of the Pittsburgh Steeler, the guy that went to the Super Bowl. I can't remember which one.
Mike Webster.
He working at a car wash.
Mike Webster.
Was it Mike Webster?
The center, yeah.
Yeah,
he had CTE. He had CTE as well.
Yeah, he had CT. That probably had a lot to do with it. And I was reading a book on sports injuries and CT just lately.
Yeah.
But how could these people go there? How can the Rooneys look at that and say?
Yeah.
But you know what happened? He's making good money and. Probably, I'm pretty sure I researched it and there was a divorce in there, and then, it's all gone. It's gone.
Yeah, and like, you're right. The Steelers, like, here's a guy that's a Hall of Fame Steeler.
Yeah,
it's like, geez, you don't have in your budget to get the guy an apartment or something, or help him out, get him some counseling, or whatever. It's like,
that was the premier cases in the CBA that they decided to make retirement funds for these guys now, and
right.
It's sad, but you're going to end up in that position, and you're going to, there is no retirement funds for guys like me, steel workers. There's, if there was, my Teamsters, it was the last thing to dissipate and disappear.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one of the things that men need to look at too, is finding hooking up with these companies that hire remotely. Try to find something where it's a remote position so you can stay at home, work from home, something like that. So you can work, it'd be perfect because you don't have to physically kill yourself. And there's companies that are out there, you can research it and try to develop those skills, whether taking classes online or whatever it is. But, try to put yourself in that position where you don't have to do that physical stuff, as you get older. At least you have the option. Because my buddy, he's in his late 40s and he's been in construction 25 years. He's just exhausted every day.
Yeah, the bones and everything hurts. That's physical work, and physical work will. It's sad in America that you don't retire after 25 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there should be automatic retirement for what do they call it? What did we start calling workers during the pandemic? Critical workers, or It's like, I can't remember the name for
the
people that work at the grocery
essential workers.
Yeah, there should be some kind of retirement fund set up for essential workers, and you need the guys at your grocery store putting those in, and you smile, and they make your life easier, and the truck drivers that get that food there, the farmers that grow it and bust their backs every day. you get to eat, and most people have no idea. They think those are little, what is it, little brownies and little fairies stock the shelves at night.
Yeah. 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 I mean, well, and then the whole way they got the retirement system set up, they wait till you're what, in your early 60s to get a
Yeah,
crumb.
they
Like
got,
most people die what, when they're in their 70s. I mean, it's like, so you got what, 10 years maybe, if 50, maybe 20 if you're healthy, 30 if you're really lucky, to live into your 90s. But
right. I'll tell you what.
they're giving you hope they're giving you a false hope.
Yeah, in my situation, any of those 401k1s or anything you invested in, most of that stuff's going to disappear because of illegal practices by bankers, and it's just, you got to be real careful. I've lost two 401ks and a pension. You know, it's like it just disappeared.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like
that's the thing. I agree. The 401k is a scam. I've done some analysis on it, and I feel like
yeah, these
I've
people,
concluded, yeah, it's a scam to separate you from your money and then hold your because they take the money that you put in. Let's say it's 15, 20 grand a year, whatever. They take that money and they just distribute it, and they make more money off of your money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like,
right? That money
yeah,
disappears, and or some,
right. They're essentially trapping your money. They're
they're trapping
trapping it.
your money, and yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a pyramid scheme, anyways, and
Right. It's a Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme, or whatever you want to call
yeah,
it, but it's
it's a
not a good
legal,
investment.
yeah.
Yeah. Because people think, oh, I'm getting a tax write off. Yeah, but you're better off taking that money and investing in a business or
Because
investing
basically,
in other
most of
things.
those guys went to the school of Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Those lighter than air jobs, like you said, that's all they
Later
do.
in their
Like,
jobs where they just
yeah.
steal, and there's no ethics and morality in these people, and that's most
Mhm.
of them. I would say very few. I've met very few people. I mean, I met a few people that honestly, with the IRAs, and which I should have did when I was. Some guy told me when I was like 22 or something. He says, they got these new things, Joe. They're IRAs. You should invest in that instead of giving the money to the union or the 401s. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, I
Well,
trust these. That's how stupid I was when I trusted those people. I
I
trust
know. Well, the thing is, you're actually better off just doing your own individual
you.
stocks
Yeah,
and do
you're
it that
better
way,
off
actually.
with your own IRA, and
Right. But do your own, yeah, self-directed. Yeah, you mean it's your own, and you can control the buying and selling, and you could do a lot, like
right.
you can do so much more. You can buy real estate, rent out the properties. You can buy land. You can
Yeah,
invest in a business. I think the best thing is investing in some kind of business. It could be anything. If you like, let's say you like baseball cards, invest in a small little baseball card shop. Whatever it is. You'll make more money that way. You know.
yeah. There was a lot. Maybe it's just, I don't know. I was stuck in this period of time between 80 and 2010 or 2020, where this just the corruption was out of this world. you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
They played. They
2012,
played us.
yeah, they played us, and then they pulled out marriage from underneath us, and there used to be something honorable about it. Now there's nothing honorable about the system, and nothing honorable about the way the system works, and the corruption in our government, and
Hmm.
everything changed. Everything changed from the 60s and 70s and 80s. When I was going to school, what I learned, that on a traditional society, how to manage yourself in a traditional society, all that's changed. Them are lies. There is no Jesus, and he's not going to take care of me when I get old. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, they would be just happy if I was dying on the sidewalk. They would jump right over me and go, "What a bum."
Yeah, it's like they're waiting for us to fail so they can tell, "I told you so, I told you so." And the
So
thing is, though, it was all bait and switch. It was
it's
all
all
bait and
bait
switch.
and
And you got
switch.
screwed more than anybody probably because you were born what, in the 60s or
Yeah, it's
so
like
60s. So back then you didn't even have abortion, so that was like out of the picture. Like it was like women were maybe at least a little bit, they had maybe a little bit of class. I mean, they
right.
probably didn't, but they hit it well. They weren't encouraged to act like knuckleheads like they are now, like Julia Lewis. They weren't acting like that. But I guess I get a little bit lucky being born. I was born in the mid '70s, so
Yeah.
I kind of saw a little bit of it. But now there's no excuse for men. Now, men right now they have to see these things. I mean, this is so
If
obvious how the
yeah,
bait and
if they're
switch is
simping and
really out
giving
of
money
control.
away, and it is so crucial nowadays that you just don't do
Yeah.
it. you got to have some kind of retirement. Your goal should be to retire at 50. And
Right, right. And it's totally possible. I mean, you could probably retire at 40, 45 if you start
your,
at
you know what your
18.
retirement is? Your savings account.
Yeah.
Whatever you can pump into that savings
I mean,
account.
I mean, if I had to do it again, 18 years old, I think I'm going to community college, paying
Yeah,
cash, get a part-time job, do community college, go to state school or whatever. Do a 4-year degree as cheap as possible, wherever that is. It could be going to the Philippines. I don't know, whatever. Go international. I don't know. Just find the cheapest way. Don't get in any debt. Work your way through school. And then all you have to do pretty much is just stay out of debt and then just keep saving your money. And then I would buy a condo. I'd find a place you want. Buy a condo for around 100 grand. That way you have no more housing bill, right?
right.
And then
Yeah,
you just save your money and I'd buy stocks. I'd try to invest in some business and then that's it. I would just take that route, like you said, because you can retire if once you have a roof over your head, a small MGTOW, all you need is a room, but like a small condo will work. That's all you need.
small condo would work. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the strength of MGTOW too. It's not just this other stuff of women divorce, destroying you through divorce or
right.
ruining
Yeah,
your life and all.
the big thing
Yeah.
about not simping is you're going to have time to think about these things and you're going to put some good decisions together.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, not only are you not getting screwed that way, but you're also you can live a simple, like, okay, so I bought this house, right, 1,800 square feet house, right, when I was a simp and I was like 30 years old, right? So, but as a MGTOW, I would never bought a house that big. I don't need 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I don't need that. I just need 1 bed, 1 bath. That's all I need. So I would have bought a condo instead. You follow me? You see how much more money I save now? And with that comes lower taxes because you don't have to pay. You're not paying for you don't. Then you have lower energy bills. It's just you just kill it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I wish I would have been. I wish I would have been. Man, I wish MGTOW. If MGTOW would have came out around, man, in my early 20s, I would have been so much better off today. I would have took to it then, same way. I did. No, that mentality. I would have seen everything coming. I would have had pocket aces, being able to predict the future.
Yeah. What happened to that guy? Pocket aces. He's still around.
Aces. He was a genius. He taught us.
Well, I always say that because
Didn't Claire stab him?
Yeah, that's right. Claire stabbed him. Rest in peace, pocket aces. But yeah, the thing that's what, like that. It is true though. When you're MGTOW, you do have those pocket aces because no matter how bad things get, like I was out of work for 2 years. I had no income for 2 years, and that kind of drained a lot of my savings. But like I'm still okay. It's like because I'm a MGTOW, I'm still okay. Like I still have a lot of outs.
You still
got tons of outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sitting on a couple. I think I'm gonna get an offer next week from a pretty big company. Yeah, so I gotta, I'll be making 6-figure plus again soon, which is not a ton of money these days. But hey, listen, for a MIG, like RP and I used to talk about this all the time. Like your dollar as a MGTOW is worth probably $10 for a married guy with 3 kids. So you have to factor in that math. That's pretty strong.
Right about now, your early 50s. You're not.
Yeah, early 40s. Well, I'm in my late 40s now.
Late 40s, yeah.
But I know it's crucial for me the next 5 to 10 years. I need to start banking some
years.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about the other day, if whatever job you take now, you're going to start saving that money so you can take X amount of years off and then work into yours.
Right. Well, the Social Security is going to be good for me because I made some decent money.
Right. Your Social work them. That's what I say.
But what's incredible, Joe? All the self-sabotage I did in terms of my self-sabotage was quitting a bunch of really good jobs, like because I was just cocky. I was an idiot. Whatever. I did a MGTOW thing. I should have just the way I should have played is just wait till I get another job. I mean, just be patient. Put up with their nonsense for a while and just get another job. I abruptly quit because I'm just arrogant and whatever.
Right. Me too. That's the way I was.
But
that first couple of years out of the Army, anybody that was insultive to me, I would just quit. And I was like,
yeah,
I'm out of here.
And that's not the right strategy. Why would you quit? Because the boss was just an annoying piece of garbage.
Yeah, I would size up the boss and see if I could possibly do that with him for like years, and then at a certain point, it's like this guy's just too fucking annoying.
Yeah.
And then I would do something evil and leave.
Well, my last job I quit because I just got sick and tired of busting my ass and them just gaslighting me on my results, because I was like producing, I was doing well, my numbers were good, I was making quota, exceeding quota, and now they're telling me I'm not doing a good job. It's like, what? You're just gaslighting the hell out of me.
There's nothing worse than in being, a stand-up worker, doing a good job, and then being told that you're not doing enough. I
know.
You know the difference. We all know the difference. There's something, like I always say, something smells about that.
Yeah. Well, here's the play. Here's the play for that situation. What you do is you go on short-term disability. You tell them you have a back injury or you have stress, mental stress. You go see a psychiatrist, whatever, even though there's nothing wrong with you. But you do that and you go on short-term disability. If you get in a situation like that where it's unbearable, you just go on short-term disability. And then during that short-term disability, you look for another job. Make sure you have coverage. Make sure you have coverage for short-term disability. Through your employer.
Yourself,
protect yourself. Exactly right. That's exactly right.
Like I always say, I put those, what did I call them? Before I leave a company, I would put in time bombs.
Yeah.
And then all my every work, every timer, everything that I put in would shut off after 60 days, and it would say on the code, call this number, and then you call the number, and it would be me. And it's like, no, I don't work for you more. This is going to cost you, this is going to cost you the $40 an hour. I'm going to come in for 4 hours minimal work, plus you're going to have a bill if I fix it.
Yeah.
Now you don't have me as an employee to do that no more.
Well, here's another thing too, and you can't trust anybody at work, man. You just can't trust anybody. You cannot. You have to be vanilla in every single conversation. I don't care. I don't care if it's someone you've known for 10, 15, 20 years, that's your manager or coworker, and you went on this kid's birthday party. I don't care. At the end of the day, they'll stab you in the back. If they have to, they will. So you always go vanilla with your conversations with these people.
Yeah, I remember, I was fixing an area or something. I thought, well, this would look better, or this would do better here. And then I start doing it. And then someone comes along, it was usually a female in the company or something, and run to the boss. You know what we should do is, and then they would take credit for your work. It's like, oh man, that is so annoying. Because, backstabbing workmates are just, God. We always tried to, there was always this code within the maintenance departments that I worked in that we had to, backstabbing workmates you can't work with them.
No.
And
that sucks, but that's just the way it is. You have to separate work from personal life.
Hurt you. They're gonna steal ideas. They're gonna, the credit isn't given to the right guy. And we all believe in who's the best maintenance man. You get credit for when you do something best. It's like that's one of the parts of the reward of the job.
Yeah. Well, and another thing too is always stay a little bit behind in your work too. Don't get caught up in all your work. Always stay a little bit behind, because the boss says, "What are you working on now?" Or whatever. Always stay a little bit behind.
We used to. I told you this many times. We used to carry, those big skid logs, those big 4x4s that they put on skids, and we used to put one everywhere we work. We put one of those logs, and we just pick it up, and then we go get a cup of coffee. And then if you're carrying a log, that means you're working.
Yeah.
And the boss doesn't ask you then. Just throw a little water on your face. Working hard, boss. You got a cup of coffee in the other hand. Walking around with that log.
Yeah. I remember my boss was he got promoted, so it was like a vacant manager. I'm like, oh, this is I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to milk this. So back then we used to, you used to log in. You didn't have a computer. iPad where a doctor would sign, for samples, and I was a drug rep, so a doctor would sign for samples, but we had it on paper. In the old days, we had it on paper. So the manager was out, so something happened where the computers were down or something. We didn't have computers for 2 weeks or something. They were transitioning. So I worked one day every week. I just did all my signatures in one day. Mm-hmm. And then I took the other 4 days off, and then I just you're not supposed to do that, but
do it.
But I did it because I knew I could get away with it, and it was one of those things where it's hey, they're busting my chops every day, hey, whatever. I wouldn't recommend people doing that unless you know exactly how to do it, but
yeah, we used to do that.
But there's no way I was going to bust my ass, and it goes back to what we talked about too about these managers. They're the ones doing the least amount of work anyway.
Yeah. We used to
You
fill
know?
out job orders. They called it a job order when you went in the morning. The maintenance department had a job order, and it's like, okay, this machine 19 needs to be looked at. You fix
Yeah.
19 and put that off to the side before you date and time stamp it. And then when you're not doing nothing, just grab that date and time stamp. And so that's what I was doing all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
easy 15-minute fixes. Nobody knows the difference between a 15-minute fix and a 4-hour
Yeah.
fix, you know?
You have to take a little from them because they're always browbeating us and they're never happy. They always want more and more and more. So you have
They
to kind
always
of
want more and
balance it
more,
out.
and they don't want to pay what you're worth anyways. And
Right. That too.
they're cheating on the same scale they hold you to.
Right.
So
Right. So yeah. So you don't give them all your essence or whatever you want to call it. You know, you just can't do it. Can't do
that's,
it.
man, one of the biggest gripes in my life was that, when I became EMT, EMTs were supposed to make $120,000 a year at that point. And they were paying me like 68.
Wow.
And I was like, you're cheating on that end, but then you're asking me to know everything or be this and do this. And it's like, man, you're cheating on the same scale.
Wow, they were making that much? 120 for EMT?
120, that electromechanical technician.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to make
Wow.
that amount, but no one ever paid us that amount. And it's like,
Yeah.
man, that's like,
Yeah.
you got to figure out ways. And basically maintenance now, that kind of work now, technical maintenance, they just
Yeah.
call you. And that's when you got a chance to rape them to then and say, it's $40 an hour. I get 4 hours work minimal. And then I get the fee after that. And I will tell you what the fee is before I fix it.
Mhm. But you know it's incredible. Like all the self-sabotage I've done in my career, I'm still in a position. All I had, like, if I wanted to sell my house, I'd be in a position to buy a condo, pay for it cash, and then I can pretty much retire. It wouldn't be a comfortable retirement, but I could pretty much crawl my way into retirement. Even right now, even with all the mistakes I made and self-sabotage. So that's the strength of MGTOW. Yeah, I've overcome so many mistakes.
Yeah, you don't have all those other things you're worried about.
No, and then
buying pee or buying a stripper.
right. And the best part is that I'm not gonna be like these lawyers got me for $8,000, $10,000, whatever, last year because I took a shot. I thought I was gonna win this case, and then I had to,
Rightfully
situation. Yeah, I had a situation with a real estate situation, whatever. So it cost me a little money, but it didn't kill me that bad. But the thing is, I'm not going to be taken advantage of in my future either, at present and future anymore. Like,
right.
That was the last kind of straw. And I mean, I say only 8,000, but the thing is, like when you get buried on those big transactions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where you're screwed on, like my buddy with his businesses. He had 10 years into this businesses, and he probably got screwed for about $250,000, by his girlfriend because he put it in her name.
Oh yeah, I had
Yeah.
back in right around my well, no, actually that was when I was a contractor. I'd have to leave town for that kind of work, and military contractor, and we'd get called, and I had a business set up, and it was like I got called away, and when I got back a month and a half later, the business was like gone, and I was like, the people in my life were supposed to take care of that for me, and it was just like gone. I'm done. It's done. I'm like, oh, that's $100,000 contract.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's crazy. And well, I'll give you an example. Like this woman I used to work with, and she's a tiny little Asian thing, pretty good looking woman. And she wanted to come over to my house. Like this is like about a month ago. She's like, hey, maybe I can come over sometime. We can have a cookout. So I'm like,
yeah, you're
but
gonna
I'm pretty
roast something up.
So no, but this is where MGTOW comes into play in real life. It's like I already know MGTOW, so I'm pretty quick on my feet, and I'm like, oh, I got too much stuff I just moved in. I got garbage everywhere. I got stuff everywhere. I said, I can't have you come over to a house looking. I said, maybe sometime in the future we'll do it,
Yeah,
and so I got out of that situation.
He's been throwing up everywhere. You don't want to come over.
Yeah, and so I'm not a simp. I don't have to simp for that. I don't. She's a good-looking woman, whatever. But I'm not going to put myself in that risk because I know if she ever came into my house, who knows what could happen? Who knows, right? And then let's say it's a regular thing, right? I avoid all that risk that she might bring into my life. I mean, next thing you know, she's gonna want to fucking move it. She's gonna want to like move in and whatever, right?
What's the
Hey,
worst thing?
we're boyfriend girlfriend now.
What's the worst thing you ever told a woman so that you can get out of that?
The worst thing I say. Go ahead. You
To
do
avoid
yours
the
first.
date.
Wait, what was it?
To avoid like having them come over or
Oh,
giving.
what was your favorite one?
I told a woman once. I says, "I'm sorry, I have AIDS."
But I had a friend I played football with. He's probably the toughest kid. Like he was like 5'10", 160, but he could probably beat up anybody. You know, he was like one of these guys. And I played football with this guy, and so he said, oh, like my friend's like, you see that girl over there? I say, yeah. You go, and we'll just call him Jeff. So Jeff, she liked Jeff a lot, and he got the way he got rid of her was he told her he was gay. Like he's the furthest thing from being gay. You know, we knew he wasn't gay.
So gay. I mean, right.
so, so, so he told her he was. This is like 25 years ago or whatever, right? You know, and I was just laughing, man. I'm like, yeah, just tell her up front. Yeah. So he didn't like her. He wasn't attracted to whatever.
You can't be honest and say, I like you as a person. You're a friend, and that would be cool just to have a friend.
Yeah.
You can't tell them that because they don't want a friend.
Yeah. He told her he was gay. I was kind of. But yeah, I think that's yeah. So I don't know what's a way to avoid. Yeah, a good story to avoid. I don't know. I've done a lot. You know what I do, Joe? I just like, yeah, sure, I'll hang out with you. And then like they call again, I just ignore the call.
Yeah. Now, you guys, as you're listening, put it in. We want to hear your story about the worst thing you ever said to get out of a date. Put it in the comment area. And
yeah, because I get that at least once every year or two, like or about once a year.
Yeah,
average. Like they'll come up to me and I've had it at work where I'm calling on clients and the customer says, "Hey, you want to go for a drink sometime?" So you can't think, it's like instead of making an excuse there, I just go, "Yeah, sure. Let me know." And then they'll text me or call me, and I'll ignore the text or call, and I'll do everything I can to avoid that person on a future. If I have to do a future interaction with that office.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. So. They don't like that, do they? The broads when you turn them down.
No, if you turn them down, you just say no. I learned early in life that if you tell no, I just don't want to go out with you, that they become really vindictive. They'll accuse you of shit. That hurts their feelings, and then it's like they just become the worst people in the whole world if you tell them that you just don't want to date them.
Yeah, I think a safe one to say is I appreciate you asking me out, but I'm seeing somebody right now. Just lie, white lie.
Yeah, I've used that one. I'm sorry, my wife wouldn't like that.
Yeah. Well, now everyone's got information. They can just Google your name and you're married or not or whatever. You know how these crazy people are on internet or whatever. But yeah, I think that's a safe one. Just say thanks, but I'm seeing somebody right now.
Thanks, but I'm in a relationship. Yeah. His name's Doug.
Yeah. Yeah, but I like that one I told her because she's like wanting to invite herself over. I'm like, what's out here? Whoa, what's going on here? You inviting yourself over to the house?
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're not playing that game.
I inadvertently used that once when Dougie was still alive, and I wanted to go home, and I was at this bar or something, and there was a girl, like she just ran up and sat on my lap, and then she was like, okay, we're gonna go home together, and I was like, oh no, I gotta go home. I'm in this, Doug's there. And she said, oh, you're gay. And I was like, okay, you think I gotta go take care of Doug, and
Yeah.
Doug was my dog.
Yeah, that's a good one. Now, what was the other one? No, the other one you said was really good. I have AIDS.
I have AIDS. Yeah, I said that. I couldn't believe it slipped out of my mouth. I was like, I'm sorry, I got AIDS.
Well, so you could just say I had an undisclosed medical condition. Well, now you can just say I have COVID.
Yeah.
I have COVID. Yeah, that's a little safe play, just say that. And
yeah, I'm a carrier.
Yeah. Things have changed so much though, haven't they? I remember I went to college in the early 90s and it was just different, man. We had no social media. It was like, you know what I mean? Well, like we used to have this yearbook thing, like for incoming freshmen. It was like a yearbook thing.
Yeah.
And people have a picture with their profile. It was kind of weird, it was like but it was like a hardcover thing, and that was like that was kind of like the Facebook back then, but it wasn't on the computer. But it was just different. Dynamics were different between men and
Graduation
women,
thing, but where the prom was, not the prom, the 25-year thing and a 10-year thing and that. Yeah, they
Yeah.
added me to that, and I never even graduated from that school.
Yeah.
I joined the army when I was 17, and then I had to get my diploma while I was doing that and get out. And I never. They told me, and then they added me to the high school class. It was like I reject that because I hated those people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hated that school. I hated those people. I just hated being there. It's why I joined the army at 17.
Yeah. Well, I tell you though, I hate these. I feel bad for these young. I hate these younger people going to college. They have to really be careful. Like you can't.
Right.
Like you can't go around and like having a girlfriend is really stupid, man. It's always been stupid, but it's stupid when you're going to college and you're trying to like set up your life and you get caught up with a broad and you break up with her or something happens and the whole world knows about it. And next thing you know, you're persona
You're
non
a
grata
pariah.
number one on campus,
Yeah, you're a pariah on campus. That's a horrible
Yeah.
thing, being a pariah on campus. Because, well, like they said, if you tell her that I just don't like you, and then all of a sudden she spreads rumors, and then you're a
Yeah.
pariah, and
Sure.
it's like wow, that's devastating to your
Right.
social ability to maneuver within these that backdrop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. A lot of men go through that. They
Yeah.
it's
And women talk. Women are nasty, man. They'll talk about like I don't want to sound too graphic here, but they'll talk about a man's parts, stuff like that.
right.
They'll talk about that stuff, and the rumor spreads around campus. That was happening in the early '90s.
Oh yeah, every girl I ever broke up with, it was like, I was the bad guy. It's like
Yeah.
every woman tells them stories, oh, he's
Yeah.
tiny,
This,
he's tiny, he's
they
tiny.
spread rumors about your anatomy
I
or
should use
whatever.
that.
Yeah, they'll
That- that-
spread rumors about if you're like not good in bed or bad in bed or what. That's like crazy stuff, man. You don't want to go there.
yeah.
Don't go there with that.
As a MGTOW, it's like I should just start using that the next time someone like I can come over and we just have a date and everything. I said, no, I'm so small. It's real tiny.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like it. It'd be awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's because there, a lot of men's lives have been destroyed by that. They had these high hopes going to college to get hooked up with some broad on a weekend drink
Yeah.
and whatever cake party, and it's terrible. And don't do that. Don't date. And like you said, that's why these podcasts are important because, like you said, if you want to do that thing, just go 200 miles in any direction and get a fake ID, and you can take care of your business there. But you don't mix business with that stuff, like or schooling or whatever.
That's one of the biggest ones I would suggest. 200 miles and a fake ID for any young man. Get that fake ID. You can get a fake ID online that looks sort of normal. Don't use it as a identification for anything important or anything. Just keep that, flash it, put it on the seat where she can see it. Because she's going to mark down your name and and just when you leave, and that's it. And she's looking for John Hay that was from Minnesota.
Yeah, because they'll destroy your life. That's the thing.
Your life, and you don't need that. And so 200 miles of fake ID, and if you're a regular man, you want to have a kid, and you look for surrogacy. You should be able to save $30,000, and if you want to have a kid, look for surrogacy, and that way you sign the paper, and she goes away after you get the kid. And
Is that how that? Yeah, how does that work exactly? I'm not going to do it, but how does that work exactly?
That's surrogacy. You just, there's women out there, and there's surrogacy services that, you can sign a surrogacy contract. She hands over the baby after you take care of it like it's your kid. And it is your kid. You bought it. In that case, you are the father. And it's not such a huge social lie then, because you are what that kid has to survive. And you are most men will do that job. Rather, I know a couple guys that raise kids as single parents, and they did wonderful jobs. Their kids all went to college. The kids are better prepared for life, and they did good jobs. And that's what I would say, surrogacy, because man, you're going to spend that money anyways. A 22, 23-year-old guy, you're going to spend that money dating. If you're a MGTOW, you can spend that money on something that really matters.
Yeah. I would take that money and invest it in, or,
Yeah,
a business or something like that instead.
right. Yeah. I mean, you're going to spend 30, 40, $50,000 foolishly on wings and beers,
Yeah. No, that's true.
Just cut the wings and beers out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would suggest that as a MGTOW, you cut out drinking anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't drink. It's been
Or
12 years. I haven't
social
drank in 12 years.
Yeah, you can have a beer with a hamburger at a bar, but cut out all the social drinking afterwards. That's where
Yeah.
people get in trouble.
Yeah. Because that's, well, you're 18. You're a smart person. You got a bright future. How many times I saw a story. This guy was, I think, I want to say 19 or 20 and down in Binghamton. I'm from that area around New York. And
Okay.
he was a lacrosse player and he committed suicide. And I'm like, why would this guy, he's like a Division I lacrosse player, commit suicide? And like, I don't know if he was on medication and side effects. I don't know. But my guess is there's some woman involved somewhere.
Yeah, a lot of man at that age, you're so sensitive to that kind of letdown.
Yeah.
It seems to hurt more when you're that age. And suicide is a problem with just the bacteria. When the bacteria, what happens biologically is you're overstimulated, but your chemicals in your brain were overstimulated. Now you're coming down. It's the same as they used to call it withdrawal. What they call it back in the early days, it was like separation anxiety. Men would have separation anxiety, but now we know better. It's that withdrawal from those chemicals that you were on that made you feel good. Now you're going through the same withdrawal as a heroin addict or an alcoholic, and it hurts. It hurts bad. You got to think about that. My cure, I have a cure for that, and get yourself some penicillin or some antibiotics to clear those bacteria, flush your body, and you'll be better off in a month. If you let that linger, that could actually take 2, 3, 4 months to come down off of that the withdrawal period. 3 months usually.
Yeah. That's the thing too. Like I have no drama in my life. I mean, the only drama I have is trying to figure out how much money I want to make. Like part-time job, full-time job.
Yeah.
Like I have no drama. There's no drama when you're in MGTOW.
Yeah, the biggest drama you got is what wings to get when you go to the bar.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. It's like the biggest drama is what job do I want to take? I want to take the lesser paying job with less, commitment, or higher pay. It's like, or like, where do I want to live? I can live anywhere in the world too. I can move. Like,
live anywhere in the world. I can move. I can,
right.
transition very well, and
yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of these guys want drama. I think they want it.
Right. Yeah. That's addicting, that kind of drama with the girls. And a lot of good men get addicted to that activity, and they want the drama. It makes them feel alive, but that's putting a lot of stock in something that's worthless. It's like doing drugs. After, your money's gone and there's nothing to show in the morning.
Yeah. Well, they think they're normal. They think simping is normal. That's the thing.
Yeah, they think simping is normal, and that's why we do these videos. This is the normalization of simping. Society wants you to think that's, they want you to be that money. You're the payor and they're the payees. They make money off of your simping.
Yeah.
And, society likes that because it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry in the world, and I would say more than multi-trillion. That was, that's in 20, 30, 40 trillion dollars a year. And this, if I was looking at the macro on that, would be because the guy's simp, and we can put a big dent in the government by just not simping. If you that's social. And I like to, when I look back at like Thoreau and civil disobedience, that he says not simping is like sort of a civil disobedience. You're saying, no, I'm not going to be played like that.
Oh yeah, speaking of Thoreau, yeah, I was listening to some of that Walden. The
You know
yeah,
what's great about that book is because when you listen to it, you can actually still, now in this day, there's going to be things he's going to say that still apply. And
yeah,
that was
yeah,
1840s, 1850,
y-
1854, actually.
yeah, because he was talking about that economics chapter about
Yeah.
like a house, like what's a house,
What is the house? Yeah.
they they took these structures which should be God given or whatever you want to call it, like structures, and they
Yeah.
made it into like a big economy, like house, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the rich people, they don't even know how to build a house or maintain a house.
Yeah. That's the greedy, the corruption that I talk about, the complicity and the greed and the the corruption between the real estate business and the United States government, where you get your house, you should be able to pay for your house, and that's it. You own that property, and your family lives there, you live there, your son or whatever live there, and everything's fine. But we made it into such a corrupt business
Hmm.
that nobody ever owns their house anymore. You got taxes on top of taxes. Eventually, the house is going to be gone, or the property is going to be gone, and it's just too hard to keep up. And you're always paying rent to the government that's greedy and corrupt.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
man, the economy of you think about that in the same way when you read Walden. You're like, oh, his economy is right. He went through a thing where he's buying a farm before that, and he lived on what's it? There's a Thoreau and Emerson. He lived on Emerson's. That
Yeah.
Walden Pond was Emerson's land.
Yeah.
And when he went through that, they pulled the farm back from him and said, "You were the farmer's wife said he's not the kind of guy we sell our property to. He's not in the club." And then he went to Walden, and he started thinking about the economy of housing, and there's a lot of that during the whole book. Is just you can apply it to this world now and say nothing's changed. There's still creating corrupt government, and we
Yeah.
haven't changed that. Why haven't we changed that yet?
Well, that's the thing. Like
Because
these rich people, they don't even know how to build a house. Like that's the thing that's incredible. Like it's so simple. Like they don't even know how to build a damn thing.
yeah,
But they're living in these extravagant houses.
right. We talk about, we can look at the proletariat from the proletariat with these people that built the houses. Why shouldn't they have a house?
Right. Right.
It's like these are the people that actually build a house. These are men that I mean, they should be on the top of the ladder, and who should be on the top of the ladder, and these lazy, what I say, lighter than air jobs got to go, and we can't continue this way. There's too many people in this world for this corrupt economy of to continue.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's sad. Yeah, chapter one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Economics or something, I think.
Yeah, he'll go into a lot of other stuff. My favorite parts are the end of the book where he summates, and he tells you about when he's in the woods walking around, he sees all the garbage laying around, and he was like, this is, he goes on about that for a while, and you'll see the whole, you'll see the world of today through the view of a guy from 1854, and it's
Yeah.
nothing much has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I like to make.
We have a
You know,
transcendentalist party in in our if we can ever get a transcendentalist party to emerge in this, that's what it would take.
yeah.
Simps, slaves, and by any other name. A simp is a slave by PJP says a simp is a slave by any other name.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's put on.
Well, and I think it's good to just get away from these people. Like I have two friends. I don't know, I don't know. Maybe I gotta get new friends or something. like two of them are simps.
Oh yeah, they'll drag you down, and sometimes it's just hard to
Yeah.
get around. I have one friend that he's a simp, and sometimes it's just so hard to deal with anymore. And I'm too old. I'm too old, and I'm too sharp. I ended up yelling at him last time he was over. It's like, Like, you know the rules here, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, just, you know, come over, be a man, don't talk about the bullshit. And he violated one of the rules, and it's like I had to yell at him.
Well, my friend always keeps saying, you got to pay the tax. Like,
Tax.
like to, to get the prize. You got to pay the tax. Like,
Get the prize.
he thinks women are the prize. So he's, you got to pay the tax. You got to spend the time with them. And it's like, man, that's a bad way to live.
It's like, you really believe that? It's like, God. It's like, and they do. They believe it. They believe these little idioms they say to themselves.
Yeah.
It's all based on little moronic idioms that they say to themselves to keep themselves going.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I did it for years. You know, the little idioms, you know, that people give you to get up in the morning, to keep working, to keep, I'm a good worker. Right. I'm the best worker. You know?
Yeah, we want our jobs. We want our jobs.
Best slave, you know.
Yeah, I'm the best slave. Right, those motivational quotes are.
Yeah, I'm slave right.
Perfect. The slave right project is that what you call
it? Project, yeah. I'm the best slave, and it's like that's what they are. They're the best slave. It's like,
yeah,
like me, and then they treat you like dirt, and you're never you never get a reward. I didn't even get a certificate for being the best slave.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get a certificate of participation.
Yeah. Well, then you end up with nothing. See, the thing is, at the end of the day, you end up with nothing, and they have all your energy and resources, and then they're not going to help you. They're not going to help you just when you think, oh, now is their turn to help, to reciprocate, but they don't. They're nowhere to be found when that comes.
No. You spend most of your life in a steel mill. They don't care after you leave about your knees. They don't care that your feet are worn out. They don't care. They'll throw that on the government.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's kind of what Walden was trying to say, or Thoreau was trying to say, and
and some of like, they don't care. Just take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Take care of, go out and go golf. Go be in the woods. Look at nature. Naturalism is one of the finest things you're going to find in this world. And you're going to find anything finer. I go to the park. I go look at my stones and rocks. And then I can decipher, after I look at that, I can decipher what's on this terrestrial plane and what's pie in the sky thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, because you don't really need a lot. You don't really need a lot to have a good life. I mean,
when he's talked about the economy, he's like, oh, what do I need? I need heat and I need some water. I got that. I got heat and I got water and I need some food. I have to. He says, when the party says, I work an hour every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, that's about what it would take. If you're summer, you're going to grow a garden and you're going to work an hour a day to keep your.
Yeah. They got these 8-hour schedule. Yeah. It's just crazy. We're working too much.
You got an 8-hour schedule. You're going to work for 8 hours and Thoreau clearly defines that it takes an hour of work a day to live. So what are you working these other 7 hours for?
Yeah. To make them money, to make their lives easier.
Because there's a lot of lighter than air jobs where people don't want to work, and you're paying for them with your back.
Right. Yep. That's why if you're going to work for a corporation, try to get into management as quick as possible, because you're going to have less work and more job security.
Right. Yeah. You see a lot of that drive. I want to be in management, and women think they can just go straight from being sexy to management because that's a pre-qualification.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I deserve to be a manager without going through any vetting process or having any what do they call that? Your time, the unions call it seniority.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no seniority. They're just sexy and they just move right up the ladder.
Yeah.
She's a strong girl going to bust through the glass ceiling without having to do any of the work necessary to sustain it.
Yeah.
But that's our today's society. And the only reason that happens is because of the same thing, the normalization of simping. The simps are out there. They're
right.
You walk into a job and a sexy woman walks in next to you. That simp, who's who's he going to hire? Who's he going to
Of
move up the
course,
ladder?
of course, of course.
Right? You had to
I know
deal with one of them a couple jobs ago. Like she's moving up the ladder, and you're just because she's sexy.
Yeah, I remember I was in LA. I had an interview, and there was like this. I was waiting for the guy to call me over, and there was like this nice looking brunette, and like really attractive, you know. And then so she gets up, I go in the interview, and then I'm leaving the interview. And there's a nicer looking blonde. I said, oh, I didn't get that job because the guy interviewing me was a man. Yeah, he's not gonna hire me. There's no way. Got no shot.
Yeah, we had this once. There was this one incident I had with we put together this line, and it was a heat treating line with a steel. And there was a whole process with it and everything, and it was a pretty big, intense line. It's like this, it's a block of in a community, it's a whole block, and they brought the people down that they were selling to us to explain what it does and everything. And I was thinking, that's the problem. None of these guys has ever worked on the floor, and every the guys know anything about the process.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so unfair to put us in that situation where I had to sit and explain the process. Because,
Yeah.
because these people have these lighter than air jobs, and they don't have to learn anything. They don't have to be the best.
Yeah. I know it's a backwards world. Like the people that get promoted are the psychopaths, sociopaths. They're the ones that get promoted a lot of times.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's probably an external beauty to them, and a willingness to they're okay men. They're what do you call it, yes men. They're yes men. There's some external beauty or something that is an intangible quality, and they're moving up like that. And most of the time, that's with women, and they don't have to know the actual what the company does. Why would they have to? They can just they can just bullshit their way through that.
Yeah. 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 I know. Like you said, I wish I saw these things when I was younger, but I mean, I didn't really get out of similitude till I was probably in my mid-30s.
Yeah,
Still pretty young, but still pretty young, but still.
God, I wish MGTOW University could work a little harder to teach these young guys about MGTOW and get them prepared before they lose half their before the disposability of their they lose half of their utility.
Yeah, that's right. That's why you got to. Hopefully we can just catch one person a podcast, or hopefully more, but because that's what you want to do. The earlier you go MGTOW, the better off you are.
Yeah.
Because even these married guys, man, like you could tell they know there's a ticking time bomb in their house. They know that wife can like everything they worked for. It's like a ticking time bomb,
Yeah.
It's like she could just have her, so they know that she controls everything. Like they kind of know instinctively. They know.
Right. Yeah. That time bomb usually goes off when the savings is at the peak, and
Yeah,
her responsibility is at the minimum.
Yeah, or the utility diminishes, or
the utility diminishes. She's out on that.
I had a friend who's a painter, and then he was rolling into his 50s. He was making good money, had a lot of good jobs, and then like the recession hit. I think early 90s, maybe I want to say. I don't know, around 1990 or something like that. And then sure enough, she was gone. She was out of there.
She was out of there. Yeah.
Like, cause he lost the house, cause he couldn't afford the payments on the house anymore.
Yeah, she's not just going to take what she stole; she's going to take future too. And it's like,
and then she married some banker or something now.
Yeah, she's moving up, and getting a new utility. Baby mamas, they need like 3-4 baby daddies. That's when you're peaking out at your. You get 30,000 from this guy, 30. You're making $120,000 on just baby daddies. If you play the game, cards right.
Yeah,
that's a good living.
Like when I see women now, I just see this. They're like snakes. They're snakes in disguise. That's all they are to me. Yeah,
that'll cost you. It'll cost you the rest of your life too if you let it.
Yeah, sure.
No, hey, 200 miles and a fake ID.
Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, you probably have to go. Maybe you probably should get on a plane at this point.
Yeah,
Because
you can do it anywhere you want. That's just, anywhere. I'd say at least get, out of the state,
yeah, the world's shrinking a little bit, so you kind
Yeah,
of
the
have to.
world's thinking you got to have borders. You get across the
So
border.
maybe say a passport. Well, we'll say a passport and I don't know,
Yeah.
Airbnb account.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Canada and impregnate all the girls and then come home.
Yeah, go to Rick's balcony and
Rick's
yeah,
balcony. And
he's got all the babes there. But yeah, it's a crazy world, man. It's just the way, I mean, I wish things were better, but we have to deal with what's in front of us.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We just gotta, and you gotta be careful. Like that's the thing with the whole simp culture, though. Like
Right.
in the media, it's in the media everywhere. I mean, gee, you can watch any time you turn on TV set, it's always simping. Like you said, like that movie, it's like it's everywhere. It's in real it's in,
Everywhere. Yeah. And then you got your snitches, your simp snitches. If they find out, hey, this guy's running off and he's, making babies in some other country, they'll try to, inform on you.
Yeah, yeah,
Because that's dishonorable in their eyes. That's like you got to take care of that girl all the rest of your life, and you got to be a
yeah,
slave because that's what they are. That's their goofy definition of honor,
yeah.
which is really just dishonorable and disgusting. This barbaric society that we live in, where these simps, there's nothing honorable about slavery.
No,
if you don't fight that, then it permeates your society, and that's what we have now. Most men are just slaves because they think that's the best deal they can get.
yeah,
No, you're supposed to fight that slavery and slavery in male nature can't live in the same room, and eventually we're going to have to fight.
hmm hmm
But
yeah.
hey, it'll be long after I'm gone. I'm going to be pushing up daisies or fertilizing some tomato
No,
long before
well,
men get it. I was hoping when I first became a MGTOW, I had this projection. I was going to be the best MGTOW I can and come and talk to these guys on YouTube about this and everything. And I thought, wow, by this time, 2022, man, there'd be so many MGTOWs. We would just start permeating the society and saying truthful things and everything. I thought it would be over, but it doesn't look like it's going to be over soon. The simp is hard to kill. These guys,
yeah,
man,
yeah, they're like Freddy Krueger.
yeah, it's like Freddy Krueger. I haven't beaten that simp with a stick for like 22
Yeah,
years here now, and it's just like
yeah,
it seems like he's impervious to being
yeah.
it's some spirit or something. I don't know. It just keeps coming back, and it gets
Ah,
it gets harder. It gets more and more evil in him.
yeah, yeah,
I know how Barbarossa felt when he, I know how these guys have been around a lot. They feel it's like, man, I can't kill the simp in this world.
yeah, yeah.
No matter how hard I try.
I know. I know. It's
Things are linear. Once you kill off all the simp in one area, it just gets new ones come in. It's just off. It just moves.
it's incredible, isn't it? Well, it's hard to beat because like we talk about like the church is involved and
Churches, yeah,
with the bait and switch marriage ceremonies and or
yeah.
wedding ceremonies and
These guys are taught all their lives, the schools from the time they're little kids, that's okay. That horrible behavior is okay.
yeah,
You can beat up and kill another boy if he disrespects the girl.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
allowed.
Double standard. Yeah, the double standard. Yeah.
No, that's not assault. If you
Well, and
Jesus.
they're taking over. Yeah, exactly. Well, they're taking over. They're getting all the good jobs too. The women get all the good jobs. They just
Yeah, there's
how much do you want? It's like It's like, how much do you want for the job? Oh, just name a number. We'll give it to you. Like
Yeah,
women just get all the best jobs. They get all the opportunities.
yeah. The idea of good job nowadays would be that lighter than air job that you don't have to actually do anything. That's a good job, and them are not made for us.
Yeah,
Them jobs aren't made for us. They're
I
just
know. I
that's a.
know.
I mean, if you look at it, it's just it's a sleazy sort of bid splitting. That's all
Yeah,
that is. These lighter than air jobs. You're bid splitting for the person that should be, that guy that's doing all the work. That's knows how to do the process. That he's splitting what he should be getting with three other people that have lighter than air jobs.
yeah, yeah. I know.
But the
Yep.
world doesn't. It's a, man, that was so hard these last couple of years. It's like trying to explain this stuff to guys, and it's like it just seems like wasn't working, and I was failing, and then it's like it was pretty depressing. Really, I spent a fair part of my life doing this, you know.
Yeah. Well, you started when, like 20
About
years ago or 20?
2002. So yeah, it's been exactly 20 years this year.
Wow.
2002, I became a men's rights
When
activist.
you did the online stuff with
Yeah.
Dirty or not,
Oh,
what's his name? Let's
yeah,
call him Dirty Harry.
yeah,
No.
yeah. Angry Harry was
Angry Harry.
and
Dirty Angry Harry.
yeah, there was an online. We used to do back then. It was early websites, and you'd set them up, and boy, that was a disaster. Websites are really hard to build back then too.
Yeah.
You didn't have plates and boil.
What
You put in a boilerplate, and you
what
had
was the deal with that guy? Did he end up committing suicide? Or
he died a couple of years ago. I can't even remember now. Angry
was
Harry. So,
wasn't a suicide, was it? Or
no, I don't think he was a suicide. I think he had some medical problems. And
what was his deal? What was he like?
Angry Harry,
Yeah.
he was upbeat. He said the right stuff at the time. A very pleasurable guy. He would get mad online at you if you if you didn't understand something right, and you're trying to explain to people. I think he felt the same thing as you're trying to explain how real life is, not the made up world in their head. And then these guys were back then. God, simping was like, oh, they would
Yeah.
they would DOS our websites. They're trying to take us down all the time. They would get on there and yell, "You guys are just you don't want to pay your child support. You don't want to do this. You don't. You guys are just bad, dishonorable men." Stuff like that. That mentality. It's like trying to shame you into coming back to the farm.
Yeah. Sure.
But it hasn't stopped. It's still, it's still you get those guys around, that they don't understand. They got a little girl at home and a little fat little hillbilly girl at home, and they're making babies. And I just seen a horrible example of that. I talked to a young man probably 10 years ago. He got this fat little hillbilly girl, and he's gonna make her pregnant. She was perfect, and she was the Nawalt, and he's gonna have babies with her. And just last summer, I seen him wandering around. She had left, and now he's baby daddy number. He was baby daddy number 2 then, and then now she's moving on to baby daddy number 3, and he didn't listen. And I was just like, should listen to me.
Those are his kids?
He got like one with her, and then
Oh, okay. So
then
she's trying to yeah.
she's moving on. She's like 26 now or something. She's moving on to the 3rd baby daddy. She's had
Oh,
one at
okay.
18, and then he was like at 22 or something. He was a 30-year-old guy, and then now she's moving on to baby daddy number 3 because it pays well.
It
I
wasn't
thought,
she like not too attractive or something or something.
yeah, she wasn't very attractive. It was him. It was what he can get and what he liked. Some guys like that. That fat little,
Chubby chaser.
chubby chaser, and that's what he liked. He was like, she's solid.
He liked her pimples.
Yo.
They were
But
sexy.
eventually, you didn't think you're going to be either dead daddy or you're gonna end up like the first guy too. That's a telltale sign. Some guys will be baby daddy number 3, and he doesn't think he's going to end up like baby daddy number 1 or 2. It's like it's a flyby on him. It's like
Yeah.
because we all have these egos. I'm going to be the next best thing. I'm way back since white bread was invented. That's the best. I'm the next best thing, and he thinks he's gonna come in there and do that job.
Yeah.
And she is gonna respect that, and she will for a while, and then he.
Yep.
I told you we used to watch that thing across the street. It's not across the street. I'll just say it was across the street. We used to go over my buddy's house, and every Friday we used to wait for baby daddy number 1, 2, 3, and 4 to show up at the door, and then they'd be out there fighting and arguing and yelling at each other, and it was a comical situation, and we just laugh, and we were just sitting there. We'd just sit on the porch and just watch the whole comical situation go on. And then baby daddy 2 thought he was better than baby daddy number 1. Number 1, he was like all 3 of them thought they were better, and then it works up to now and then there's a new baby daddy in the house, and he's just laying around on the couch enjoying all that money that those 4 guys were providing.
Yeah.
It was just hilarious. It was like me and my buddy can sit there and watch that. It's like, wow. And during the week sometime, we going back Friday to watch it again? Hell yeah, we are, because it's funny.
Yeah.
It was just this little hour-long thing that we did.
It's like those married women that cheat. It's like, what's the psychology behind that? It's like they're just looking for more security, pretty much, right?
Yeah, they're just looking to move up, move out. And hypergamy is going to move up to the next best thing. And hypergamy just doesn't work like that either. She traps the first guy. And then he's in that trap for the rest of his life. And then she gets the next guy, and then it's not moving up; it's just moving linearly.
Yeah.
And you're just moving linearly until you get 4 of them. If you get 4, that's the optimum amount a baby mama needs.
Yeah.
You have 4 kids with 4 different guys and have 4 paychecks. Jeez. You get 4 paychecks then, plus what you can make, and plus what the government gives you. You're doing good.
Crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Man, I wish I had that deal. I would never work a day in my life, and they don't.
Yeah.
Well, that's all to our corrupt system, and they'll take some other guy's house and give it to you, and that way it's for the children. Remember that? What was that? That comedy. He was what's his name? Jack Black, and the movie when he plays.
Oh yeah, Nacho Libre.
Nacho Libre, and he's like, "It's for the children."
Yeah, he simps for that nun or whatever.
Yeah, he's always like, "It's for the children." How can you argue with that? That's what they'll tell you. It's for the children. They'll take your house. They'll take your. It's for the children. How can you argue with it? If you argue with that, you're the worst person in the whole world. They're not thieves. You're dishonorable for that's what the man up thing's all about. You're dishonorable because you're not volunteering your slavery.
Yeah.
Because men think they're having a baby.
Yeah. Al Bundy. Yeah.
Yeah. Al Bundy said, "I'm not having a baby. You are. I can't have a baby."
Yeah.
He said,
"What's that called again? Isn't that like scientific? How men will start displaying? They'll start displaying like the side effects of being pregnant. They're obviously not pregnant, but
yeah, it's Corvad's disease when they think they're pregnant alongside with it. It's a mental illness, and that's what I would say. And this is. But
don't they start having symptoms of actually like a female being pregnant?
Yeah, that's extreme Corvads when they protrude, their stomachs protrude, and that's a lack of testosterone. Those stomachs about because being around a woman like that eats your testosterone away. You won't have you're pure estrogenated, so you start
Yeah.
thinking like them. You think you're having a baby with them, and
Yeah.
you think you're a father. You're not. You're just baby daddy number 1, 2, 3, or 4 now, and
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
the sucker. You're in the. You're the. It's very. If you learn the biology of that stuff, and it's like all you did was you supplied a you supplied a little bit of a. It's not even DNA. There's nothing of you in that baby. No material was used. It what's it called? It's a Helen McClintock's transposon. Your transposon transposed a few DNA things so she wouldn't have a duplicate copy of herself. That's all you did.
Yeah.
A sperm is a transposon. It's not a seed. That's a concept guys got to learn. You're not putting a seed in there. None of your DNA material is going to be used.
Uh-huh.
They think it wraps around and it's in love and it changes. No, it's just a transposon process. It's a DNA sequencer. You resequence her DNA.
Yeah.
It's like, man, these guys are so. And judges, they'll sit there and tell you're the father. No, you're not. And that's the absurdity of our legal system because they believe that.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to have some honor. You got to have some chivalry. Chivalry's dead if you don't keep being a slave. From the inception, you're fooled, and then you get those feel good. There's several traps in there. Biologically, there's several biological traps.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a father. That's a social construct.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
As soon as men start realizing that, and I'm sure they want to shut me up about that, but I was right with harm reduction, and I'm right now again.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's those traditional beliefs that set men back. They don't, because it's working. Like those traditional beliefs are going to benefit the super rich, pretty much, and the
Right,
rich.
those
They're
kind of
not going to
beliefs
benefit
will
everybody else.
benefit the super rich, the government, the lighter than air jobs that we get from those people. When you get a
Right.
slave, you have it's just a modern day slavery hinges on 20 to 30% of every society is slaves, but getting them to pretend like they're not slaves, that's the hard part.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we say
Right.
we don't have slavery. No, we have slavery. It's just male slavery nowadays.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, them things don't get built. All these, this stuff. Society doesn't work unless we believe in this unhinged process. That's total absurdity and it's a lie.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Just walk away. That's all you gotta do.
Walk away. Yeah, just walk away. I know it looks
I see.
good. Yeah.
I mean, how many married men do you know that are actually happy? I mean, I don't think I know one. I can't think of one.
I can't think. Yeah, if I look back on my life now, most of the guys got divorced. Like 98% of them got divorced. Most of them were miserable. Some of them killed themselves. Uh, it's just so sad when I look back on my life about my friends and the people that I grew up with, and it was just how this idea totally decimated most of them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We all grew up in the same neighborhood. We all grew up, believing in that Christian mentality.
Yeah, sure.
And the government was going to take care of you. We're going to have a pension. You trust these people, and then you find out one by one, all those ideas they shatter them, and then you end up shattered.
Yeah. Well,
I would say the best thing you could do for yourself is start off as an atheist and just don't believe in those lies.
Yeah.
If you want to be a father, surrogacy. That's
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why you would want to be a father, but
yeah. Some people.
so,
I would really enjoy. The best thing I did in my life, I think, is I'm a good father. I can raise children. make them strong boys, and get them ready for this world. It's it's an admirable process, but that's what we're supposed to do. But we're not supposed to have the "you're a slave" to that.
Yeah.
You know, I can imagine you having a little Joey, a little mini Joey,
Yeah.
and he's just like you, and he's learning, and he doesn't have a mother, telling him false stories about the world.
Yeah.
Just think how creative and what you could form.
Well, even just like for me, I don't watch TV. Like just being, I think that's because TV is like
Yeah,
really
yeah. He won't be playing video games with all the other
right. He won't be
kids.
playing. Right, he'll
He'll be
be in
out there,
nature. Like his time will be walking in the woods with me, walking in
yeah,
nature,
walking in the woods and like
riding bike. Yeah,
play with.
whatever. Like, it's not gonna be watching Happy Day. I grew up watching Happy Days. I mean, whatever. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, I'll tell you what, my kid, he's still to this day, he'll be the first one out to walk around the neighborhood with a lawnmower, charging people the lawn. He just does that.
yeah,
He's like, $30, I'll cut it.
yeah. Sure.
He'll come in, I made $120 today, didn't really do shit.
Yeah, and you had fun doing that. I used to love cutting lawns
Yeah, I mean,
and raking leaves and all that kind of shit
yeah,
and
it's
picking
for
up
a dollar
money.
job. That boy can
I remember
write.
I was 14 years old. I had like $1,500 saved up. I was like 14. Yeah.
Yeah, that boy, I always said about that boy is if there's a bunch of quarters laying somewhere, he's going to figure out how to get them.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of wasting time watching, Happy Days or Laverne
Yeah.
and Shirley and all these stupid shows. The shows are getting worse now too because they got all these like terrible role models. Ray Romano and whatever.
Yeah. So the MGTOW philosophy, and I'll say it's a philosophy, and some people disagree with me. It's a diversible philosophy. It's highly diversible. You can learn it easy, and you'll be on the other side before you know it, and
Yeah, the winning side, like pocket aces side.
be on the
Like,
winning side.
like, yeah. If you're playing poker, you want to be holding pocket aces. You want to be holding,
You'll be
you
pulling
know.
pocket aces after that.
I shove that. I shove the when I get aces. I just shove it, man. I just like
There's nothing
I
about
big bet before the flop. I big bet it, man.
yeah.
Big
There's
bet it. Get
nothing,
somebody pot committed, and anyway, that's
everything
another
they
just
ever
poker
told me
stuff.
about
But
this, and everything I did, everything increased the happiness in my life. Going to the park, listening to that stuff, finding alternate entertainment besides drinking with the girls at night, and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know,
Well, I was looking up. And I had to use the word glib, in a sentence today, and I looked it up, and like that's women. They're glib. They're shallow. It's like a perfect word to describe women. They're all of them. Every single woman I've ever met, they're all glib.
yeah,
That's what they are.
that's a
Insincere, shallow people.
shallow and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And their what do you call it? Ulterior motive is always to get something out of you. It could
right.
be anything.
Yeah,
They're always, yeah.
in MGTOW we often say they're mercenary. They will get something out of it. They'll hurt you, and it's very mercenary what they do, and they're very glib.
It's like a woman inviting herself over to your house.
Yeah, she has a plan.
Of
Trust.
course.
She
Of
has a plan.
course. And I dismissed it like I'm light years ahead of her.
Yeah, lucky I caught those AIDS.
Yeah. I think that's a good excuse I came up with though. Like, yeah, no, you're right. Lucky I got those. Well, you just say COVID now. I have COVID, full blown COVID.
I caught the AIDS a few days ago.
Yeah.
It might take a few weeks to get rid of this. You can't come over.
Yeah. That's right, man.
I can't believe I said that.
That was great though. That was a good one. So you must have said that in the 90s or when was that?
I can't. Yeah, it was in the 90s when it was like, oh,
yeah, I have herpes. I have AIDS. I have STDs you never heard of. I can't even pronounce the names.
Places you never even dreamed about. Those AIDS.
That's what that leads me into another point about being a MGTOW. It's like when you have that knowledge of your world, when women are glib and the government doesn't care about you and authority figures are pretty much a-holes.
Yeah.
Like your whole worldview changes and you're empowered. You have all this empowerment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nowadays, people got the ultimate. You could just say, "Oh, I'm gay." It's like I'm so gay. I'm gay as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just I caught that. I took it as prescription, and it made me gay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I, that was the
Yeah.
best troll I ever seen in my life. There was this. I was reading. I was taking some heart medicine, reduce my stress in my life. What is that called? I can't remember what it was. And I was reading.
Oh, heart mass reducer beta blocker, you mean, or what do you mean?
It was beta blocker, and I'm reading the thing on it, and some guy slipped a troll in there, and he says, "Yeah, I was taking this stuff and made me gay, and now I'm."
Now he's what? Sorry.
He says, "I'm gay as fuck."
Yeah.
I just thought that was the funniest troll I ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was a good one. He slipped that in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got it by the medical exam. The medical. It was right on the med ad or something like that. I
Yeah.
think, he should have got the king of trolls that year.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you can say, you can do it now. Just say, man, yeah, I was taking this beta blocker. Now I'm gay. Like, I wouldn't believe it.
It's not my fault. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I can't go out with you. Sorry.
Yeah. It's a crazy world, man.
It's a crazy world. The absurdity.
Absurdity.
It's just so. Camus was so right, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
You become a MGTOW, you look around and you start seeing the absurd, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like watching that movie where everybody's stupid.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy. Yeah, it's like living in idiocracy.
Yeah. That's what plants crave.
Judges to politicians to people in charge are just, you guys are morons.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that show? The game show on that movie? Ow, my balls.
Ow, my balls.
Used to kick someone in the nuts or something. That was weird.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
Yeah, this world is really stupid, man. People are not smart, man. It's like, it's scary too. Like, as I'm getting older, so like the people that are going to be in quote unquote leadership positions are going to be my age, and it's going to be scary looking at that, listening to someone, you know what I mean? And it's my age. It's a total, the guy was full of, you could see this through the bullshit more. I think as you kind of peer to peer, like, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just up to us. We just got to keep saying it, and all the guys on this, chat, just get out there and just say it. I know they won't take it. They're not going to take your advice. They're not going to listen to you. But you got to keep saying it. We got to keep saying it. And men are worth preserving in this country, and we're just worth having around. Think of yourself higher than what they have for you. Think of yourself as a real human, and that'll be the start when you start thinking of yourself as a human, a human being, not a human doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you said that. You said that before. Human being. Was that you or Shining? I don't know.
I can't remember. One of the guys come up with that. I can't remember who came up with it on the internet, but it's true. It's like, be a human being, not a human doing. You're not a utility.
Yeah. Well, and I remember, was it Gomez that talked about that? Like,
yeah, Gomez. Gomez. You remember Gomez? He's so great. I like that cat.
Yeah, I remember he was saying something about like you have a right to exist. Like you can't, like nobody can take away your right to exist. You know what I mean? It's like you can't let people walk all over you and stuff. And
one of the greatest videos he made is that he was showing the college professor when he was lying about he was lying about biology, and it was like this college I can't remember what course, and he goes, he's moderated in the background, and he goes, watch, here it comes. He's gonna lie, and he's gonna pull off the lie, and then he's gonna be like relieved. And then the college professor pulled off the lie, and he thinks he pulled off the lie, and he went It was like, he did it. He did this. He simped and he pulled off the lie. And then even he knew it was a lie.
Yeah.
When he was teaching these kids, it's like, there he goes. He did it. It was a great observation.
Yeah, that's what MGTOW gives you too, is courage. You know, you courage to tell the truth, and
courage to tell the truth about.
But like you said, didn't you have a friend of yours like you're gonna go 1 year and just tell the truth or something?
We did that when we were younger. That we were both just sitting around one day and we noticed that you lie a lot. But the thing was, like, someone asked you how you doing, and you go, yeah, cool, I'm okay, and it's the response is everything's okay. And that's a lie sometimes. And we started noticing that people tell these little lies all the time. And we made a pact with each other that for a whole year, we're both going to tell the truth, no matter how hard it is on the person that we're telling it to. Wow, that was quite a year. We got in trouble a few times.
Yeah.
I got in trouble in school for telling the truth on, one of the teachers. And like, it's like, no, that's the truth. And then my father, like, come and pick me up, and he said, that is the truth. And it's like, yeah, he just told the truth. I said, that's all I ever do now is tell the truth.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine because we're both interviewing now with different companies, and we're like, yeah, it's so exhausting. Like, people don't realize how exhausting interviewing is, preparing for it, doing the interview afterwards. But the reason why it's so exhausting is you can't go out there and just be totally transparent and tell the truth. If you do, you never get the job.
Yeah, like, you're exhausting forming lies around this guy's ego.
Right. It's like, never talk bad about your previous employer, and that's correct, because you'll never get the job. But like, if they say, how do you enjoy working for the other company? You can't say, oh, it was terrible. They were cutting corners. They were doing this. They were not paying the right bonus. You're never going to get the job.
It's like, what was this company? Why did you leave this company? And I said, because they're steaming liars, and I didn't get the job. And he told me, you can't talk bad about the other company because because he knew I wasn't that guy. Because he wanted me to believe the bullshit he was selling too.
Right, because that company you're interviewing with, 9 out of 10 times they're doing the same stuff.
Yeah, they're doing the same stuff. He wants you to believe. He wants people, the yes men, that are going to tell the same lies.
Yeah, and that's why interviewing is so exhausting.
It is,
because it's totally exhausting. It's like, but I learned the secret. See, for me, in the late 40s, I'm almost done with my MBA. I got 2 master's degrees. I got like 20 years experience. It's like, you know what I learned? Number 1 rule for me, because of my background, I don't go on any cold interviews. It's got to be a warm interview. There's got to be someone that went to the same college I went to, know somebody that I know. Like, I'm not doing cold interview anymore. I'm not wasting my time. It's not going to happen, because I know a lot of those interviews are they're rigged. A lot of those jobs are rigged. Mm-hmm. They already have someone hired that they want. They just have to go through a certain list to show, that they interviewed a certain amount of people. You know what I mean? So I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson on that one. But yeah, it is, and it's like I've dated, when I was in my teens and 20s, I dated a lot, whatever. I'm not proud of it, but the thing is, do you remember, Joe, how exhausting it was to go on a date? Because you had to put up this front.
Yeah, sitting you get to the restaurant and there's this light chatter, and most of the time she's talking about her cat, and then she's talking and blah 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 blah, and you're just sitting there going, and the things that are going on in your mind at that time is like, God, I just want to go home, and if I could just hit that and just send her back out the door, that'd be great. And this internal monologue you're having while you're doing it was, that was the truth monologue.
Yeah.
It's like, geez, I have to pay for this dinner, and she's fucking won't shut up, and she keeps talking about her cat.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
God, it was exhausting.
What's exhausting too is, even if you're sitting like at a restaurant or social place and women are nearby talking, they just talk about the stupidest stuff, man.
Yeah, there's about this. Oh God, I had some of those things at work. It's like, once me and my buddy Michael, he was sitting next to me, and he said, "Watch this show. This is interesting." And and there was 3 women at this table, and they were talking, and he says, "What? Listen to what they're saying." And he says, "They're all talking about something different."
Yeah.
And they were, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's so true."
Yeah.
Each
Yeah.
one of them were talking about their perspective on a different idea, and they
What?
thought they were talking about the same things.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that called again? What do we call that again? How they don't have empathy, right? Like what's the whole thing that that
Oh, about
applies
the
to that?
empathy thing, it's like, no, they don't. I don't
They
see.
see the world. They see the world only
Oh,
from their
yeah,
point of view, or how does it?
yeah. That's they have a conscience by concern.
Okay. Yeah. Conscious by concern.
We
Yeah.
have
Exactly.
honor. Men have honor.
Right.
Women have
Right.
conscience by concern.
Right.
Two
Right.
different
Right.
things. And men think that I don't know how many
Right.
times I've said this to a guy in my life. And he's talking. Oh, my wife left me. She had no honor, and I like she never did have any honor. That's a
Right.
male
Right.
thing.
It's not in
Women
their
have
DNA.
yeah. That's conscious by concern. That's what they
Yeah.
perceive the world. What concerns them, they perceive, and they attack that.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not. And I don't want to be mean, but they're just not evolved beings. That's what it is. Their consciousness is like their conscience is limited, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
SFM used to say they feign empathy, and
Yeah. Yeah. Mimic the mimicking, and yeah.
and that's how you see it all over. Oh, I'm such a good person. I do this for
Yeah.
the poor. I do this.
Yeah.
They're just feigning empathy.
Yeah. And then the crying, the fake crying, and
Yeah, yeah.
yep,
But
the whole thing.
you know,
Yeah.
you ever get a divorce, you ever been with, most of these guys here have been with women that, yeah, when that ends, and it's like that moment where like you noticed it, like how can you usually say something stupid like how can you act like that towards me? We were so intimate, and then
Yeah.
you realize that there was never no empathy there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was such a sucker.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, they're portrayed in the media and as unicorns. All of them. Every woman's a unicorn. You know.
Yeah, they're all unicorns. That's what MGTOW says it. They're all the unicorns. We put them on a pedestal. That's our lies. That's the lies. But that's more about you. It's like
Yeah.
I always tell this to my son. I says when you read an article in a paper and something doesn't smell right, and it doesn't, and you find out that it was a fake article and someone just made all this stuff up, it's your responsibility to catch that.
Right. Right.
It's the
Right.
same thing with women. It's your responsibility to learn to make towel. It's your responsibility to catch that, or you're just what's his name, Barnum and Bailey's sucker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your responsibility to catch that. Barnum and Bailey was right. It says there's a million suckers born every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's your responsibility to catch that. It's your
But I thought
responsibility to learn about
you're
this.
right. It's your responsibility to not accept like these authority figures and
Right.
to just because
Yeah.
they have a title and yeah, it doesn't mean
It's
anything.
kind of a growing process. You become a skeptic, and then you become, either one you can use. You can use existentialism, you can use skepticism, you can use postmodernism, you can use. They're all the same. They're telling you about the same. It's your responsibility to learn this stuff about these truths in life.
Right.
And so
Right.
say, take it. I like Kant's Cartesian. What is it? Cartesian. You just move everything off the table in your life,
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah.
put the truths back on the table, and
Yeah.
that's what you have. That's your table. That's your setting in life. But that's the same thing as skepticism. I'm removing all these untruths, and I'm going to start putting things back in one by one that I know and I test. How do you test the truth? Well, you have to argue it.
Yeah.
If it passes the argument, then it's the truth. But it's
Yeah.
your responsibility as a human, as a person. Just Descartes would say it, Kant would say it, Camus would say it, and it's your responsibility to test it, and then put things back on the table. And that table is your life,
Yeah.
and all of them, all postmodernism, all modernism is discussing those truths, and then you move into postmodernism, and you get a good idea of how to present these things in life, and it becomes more complex than most people can handle.
Yeah.
Some people, you hear it all the time, the arguments against postmodernism. That's because they just can't understand it. It becomes absurd to them.
Well, yeah, the whole thing about family, your family. It's like
Yeah,
those. I hate to say, those are that's what screwed me the most. I mean, my parents were
right.
great. I had a younger brother that was great, but then I got stuck with these two bratty little sisters, and it's like,
Yeah,
forget it.
like
It's like,
the family's a great thing. We had 11 kids in our family. It's like, well, 11 people in our family, and it'd be great to have that kind of support, but you don't really get that kind of support from family. It's like
no,
that's a lie, and all that family,
yeah,
it's like most of them are just like regular people you meet on the street that mean you harm.
yeah, yeah. Friends and family, yeah, those are the ones you gotta
That's the ones you got to worry about. These
watch
are
out for.
the worst. That's always in my
Yeah,
life.
because well, that's the ones that you're gonna let your guard down, and you
You're gonna
shouldn't. You
let
shouldn't let
your
your
guard
guard
down.
down to anybody.
Sure enough, right? Yeah, I've been hurt the worst by friends and family in my life.
Right, right, because they're the ones that you're more vulnerable around because you think that
Right.
they're not going to screw you, but they will. I heard my friend was telling me his uncle's niece or something. Yeah, his uncle's niece, like I don't know, some or family, like she's suing him for $500,000 or something. Like that stuff happens all the time. Like they get
Now you've seen it with your
uh,
sisters, and they're
yeah,
conscious by concern. They're only gonna think that he's my brother thing ends at their conscience by concern. They're interested in making their life better. They're concerned
right,
with their future, and that
right,
and you're their brother right up to that point.
right, right,
And I've
right.
noticed that with my sister, and I'm sure
Yeah,
she has some whatever it is love towards me and everything.
you,
But when
yeah.
her conscience by concerns kicks in, I'm no longer a brother.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to do those walks and in the nature and do introspection and get comfortable spending time with yourself.
Dude, that
Like
introspection that's so important in life. That's one of the
yeah,
biggest things that I forget to say that sometimes.
yeah,
Walk in the park, get back to nature. Thoreau would
right,
say all the time, nature is the biggest part. That'll bring you back to reality on a lot of things, and
yeah.
do that introspection. See where I'm wrong about things. See where I'm.
Nah, yeah, you're not.
Sometimes
Yeah,
I'm wrong about things. I
yeah,
have a wrong idea. I have to.
right.
I have to. I have to be liberal in the idea that I'm willing to change if someone could present more of a truth to me.
Yeah, because yeah, you got to be comfortable being alone. I think that like if you're not comfortable being alone,
If you can't
I
live in
feel
your own
bad for you.
skin, you know,
Yeah, you're in a tough spot. You gotta get comfortable with that.
you
Like
got,
I've driven cross country 10 times by myself,
and then
and
you
like
get a
that's helped me a
real,
lot.
you get a real ego built in, not this fake, this id ego that you had of. You get a real comfort with I do this well, I do this well, I do this well, I do this well. I'm the best thing that walked through this door. When you do the introspection and apply that to your male ego, you'll be so successful. And then I pushed,
Yeah,
what can you do to get? I pushed, mountain biking. If you can jump a 20-foot jump and land that thing and do that, you see those kids that I showed you. It's like those kids are going to be successful in life.
yeah, because they're not afraid and they're
They're not
not.
afraid. They're not
They have
fearful.
courage.
They're
Yeah, you got to
courage.
have courage and yeah, yeah, yeah. They're able to handle those adverse situations and
Yeah,
not let it bother them and you can't let people push you around. That's for sure.
right. Yeah, I still do that to this
Um,
day. I'll go off the street and I go down the trail and I see the jump and I think, man, 60 years old, you're going to kill yourself. And then I take it and I
yeah.
land it. And then I was like, I still got it.
Well,
That boosts my ego and it makes me feel good about life again. And
yeah.
sometimes I just have to prove I could still do it. And,
Even just saying no, like you don't have to have courage so much on a
yeah.
physical
And
standpoint, but
that'll
even
build
just saying no to people, like my
yeah,
friend, always likes to go out to eat, and I'm like, no. He
no, you
asked me
can't.
to, I said, no, man. I said, I'm trying to save some money. I can't
Yeah,
afford to go spend $20 on a lunch when I got food in the fridge that's worth $5 that I can cook it
yeah.
just as good.
I'm going to end up paying.
Right. It's like stuff like that too. It's not like you know what I mean? It's like just saying no to people. Like just saying
Yeah,
no to people is a good thing.
right. That the courage just to say no. And we say,
Right.
is the optimum word. That's what MGTOW is saying.
Right.
We don't say no to that
Li-
thing anymore. But
Right.
that takes courage. You got to build that courage.
Right. Like I had an employer. They wanted me to fill out this application, and I started filling it out. And then they're asking for references, and Like, I'm like, no. I said, you get references after you make a job offer. That's when I'll give you the references. You can check them after you make a job offer. I'll give you my references. If you like the references, okay, we'll continue with the process. But I'm not giving you that information before you interview me. And then, so I withdrew my application. They said, why did you withdraw your application? I said, because you guys are asking for too much information. I
Right.
just told them the truth. Like, it's like, you know what? I'm not going to give you that information. You,
Right.
you have to interview me first,
And
make an offer, and then I'll give you my references.
you think about the harm that people could do to you in today's, information stealing and having your information. It's like I can give you my name,
Right, right,
I can get. Well, the day I'm hired is the day you get my social security number and
right,
personal, my,
right. You make an offer, you do a job. Right, you make an offer, you do it. You do then you can do the background check. You know what I'm saying?
do
I'm
your
not.
background check, and then if I don't
Yeah,
work, then I don't work out after that. But hey, you can't be
you're
a
not going to treat me that way. Yeah, you're not going to treat me that like you said. You like you remember? I remember you. I was listening to a video. You're saying
right.
like,
Yeah.
you don't talk to me that way. Do you know what I do on the weekends? I'm a sergeant, and I kill people on the weekends. Or
Yeah, that's one of the first things I had to do.
yeah,
I was working as a contractor. I go away, and for months at a time, I try to explain that to them. I have to go away sometimes for months at a time to go on these whatever you call them. And one guy was talking to me one day. It's like, you know, I just turned around and says, "You don't talk to me that way." He was the boss, and I was like, "Do you know what I did last weekend? You know what? I'm fighting for your fucking freedom and killing people, and you're talking to me like that? What the fuck?" I slapped that guy.
yeah, yeah. No, it's true, and it goes like that's like healthy boundaries.
Yeah, that's healthy, but that's what you should
Right,
be always in your life. I'm not that guy that you
right,
talk to like that. It's like
right,
a lot of
right.
people, a lot of women in my life always them chains go beyond that. They'll talk to me like they think they can talk to you like that. And I
Yeah,
noticed
yeah,
my sister talked to me like that.
yeah.
And it's like, no, I am not that guy you talked to like that.
I had two women, attractive women. I was driving in a car. One I was driving in a car with my buddy, and the other one I was at my buddy's house. He's a simp guy, and they tried to flash me their breasts.
Yeah,
Like, look at my breasts, and I just like I didn't look at them. I'm like I'm just this is I wasn't even a super MGTOW at the time. Like it's kind of a disrespectful thing. Like
really.
I'm not gonna look at your breasts and grovel over your breast. That's like a boundary thing for me. It's like like you don't do that stuff in front of me. It's like what I'm saying.
No, yeah, especially when I'm in the asexual, when I'm working, when I'm doing something, when I'm into asexual Joe. It's like,
Yeah.
and that's MGTOW most of the time. It's like I'm asexual. You bring that
Right.
to work, you bring that to an improper place. You're doing that in
Hmm.
the bar or something, or like,
Yeah.
it's like, wait a second, who the fuck do you think I am?
Right. And that's having the courage to, man. I tell you, there's so many. I'm one of these guys. Like I never start fights, but I never lost a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
it's usually just look at me, look at
right,
me. What do you
right,
see? Because
right,
I'm wondering what you're seeing. If you got some kind of
right.
delusion or something about
Yeah.
what you're
Exactly.
seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think they are? Like who do you think you are trying to set these boundaries that are not appropriate? Like
Yeah,
don't do that in front of me.
I mean, I don't know how many times in my life I've had to like, who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And that's the
look at
confidence you have to have. Like, because I've been in sales 20 years. Like, for example, like these employers, they need to treat me with respect. And if they're not going to do it, I'm just going to hang up the phone. I'm going to walk out of an interview. I'm not going to be disrespected. It's
yeah,
not going to happen.
I won't.
I'm a teacher. I have a teaching background. I have a lot of options.
Yeah, it's like wow, for veterans and shit too. I see the veterans out there and the way they're treated sometimes, and it's like, how can you take that? It's like, man,
The
yeah,
veterans, yeah, yeah, sure. They fought for the country. They stabilize, make a country more stable with their service. Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't put up with any of that kind of shit. I just talked to a Marine. Guy was 20 years a Marine. He was a recruiter too. And I might take the job. I might take the job with this company if I get out because he's the manager. Dude, this guy is the coolest guy in the world. He's like non-corporate, super enthusiastic, and so I got a decision to make if I get two offers. But yeah, you could tell like the guy like he gets it. You know what I mean? He gets it. It's not like he said I'll help you out, and he's gonna follow through on what he says as
yeah.
opposed to
That'll
some
usually take
corporate simp.
who's got your back? You know, if you could
Yeah,
tell this
exactly.
guy's got your back, he does. One of the
Right. He's that kind of guy that would have my back. Exactly.
the test strip is how he talks to you, how he treats you, and how he
Right.
expects to be
Right.
treated. You know,
Right. Right.
that's a litmus test on people. You know, if people
Yeah.
say like that, you know they don't got your back. You can
No.
those
No.
friends
And that's
are.
a simp. That goes back to simp. Simp never has your back.
Yeah,
They'll never have your back.
they'll never have your back, and you're going to get hurt if you trust them. You're going to get hurt. That's like I said.
Right.
Most of the people in my life that really hurt me bad, friends and family that I lowered the guard on that.
Yeah.
And people in my life that I thought were authority figures, and I never put them in
Yep.
question. Always did
Yep.
something horrible. It's like
Yep.
it's a fake trust.
Yep.
Trust
These
is
pastors are the worst. The pastor, religious figures,
pastors,
they're the worst.
people.
Lawyers,
Yeah, lawyers.
doctors.
Like, man, don't put your trust in those people. Trust but verify.
No.
My buddies always says trust but verify.
Yeah. Yeah. Even family members that are uncles, and I'm look, I got good uncles, and I've had nothing, thank God nothing. My father would have killed it. Like if my father would have probably killed him. Like if anything ever happened to me, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
by the hand, you know what I'm saying? So I got, he was, my father had a lot of respect, but
it's funny that guy that used to tell me that all the time. It's like he just got had by a person that he trusted in his family.
yeah,
And
sure,
there's a
sure,
corporate restaurant business that he had put together, and he's a pretty big businessman. And he had put this thing together, and he hired a family member and went into business with him. And that guy screwed him. And he was like, I broke my own rule.
yeah, yeah. He let his guard down.
And it was like, I broke my rule, and now I'm suffering for that.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage, not just financially, but psychologically too.
Psychologically, when you get to that point, it's like, wow.
But you can recover. He can recover.
Yeah, that's the thing about being able to transition out of. That's why I talk Winninger sometimes. Winninger is all about transitioning out of things that are no longer. Men transition from areas to next. You have to say this is failing, or this is already done. Either you succeeded, it's already done, or it's a failure. Start the next thing.
Yeah, move on. Yeah, and I had that same thought the other day before I went to bed. I was like, okay, how did I learn from this lawyer mishap? This case that we should have won, but I think somebody got paid off. But anyway, and then what I came up with was survival. I said, you know what? Look at the bright side. You still got a nice house. You still got your education. You got your health. You got your MGTOW, and you're surviving. Right now, I'm surviving. I'm thriving actually, and I have a game plan in place to continue to thrive the next 30, 40 years.
You learn from all those old failures and all.
Yeah.
You learn from your failures. You learn from your successes. You know what works. Now you know what doesn't work. You put the next thing in place. You have a better percentage chance of winning now. It's just pragmaticism with a little bit of what is that? You just prognosticate it, and you put, will this work or will this fail? And I usually do oughts and nots. It's like what is that called? Bayesian theorem on whether this is going to work or not. And then there's an ought.
Yeah.
If it comes out to say an ought 4 and ought 5, I start believing that it's going to work. If it comes down to like a knot, it's like, oh wait, I'm working in the knots now, and I gotta stop this.
Yeah, like my uncle, he's a smart guy, but he's a Christian, unfortunately. But he goes, as you get older, you sin less and less. But that's true. As you get older, you should be making, I won't use the word sin, but as you get older, you make fewer and fewer mistakes.
You're making fewer and fewer mistakes because
right. You're able to see through the bullshit right away too. So,
yeah. Oh, the young kids always come to me. I just had a friend. He's a very young guy. He used to be around here, but he's not anymore because he's just too stupid. But he fell for one of those scams. It was a credit building scam, and then they took him for so much, and then they stole his identity, and they took him. He was buying those gift certificates and sending it back to him.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
How could you be so stupid? Didn't that sound? Didn't I tell you that didn't sound right?
Yeah.
Like some things just stink. They smell, and when you smell
that,
go away from it.
Like a woman inviting herself over to your house.
Yeah, some things. If she's too good looking,
yeah.
That's the stripper thing that I told you about. If she's too good looking and she walks up your driveway, don't believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We still got that stripper bag. I got to do the stripper bag thing.
Yeah.
We're going to pull it apart. We can look in the stripper bag. I'll pull out one thing and I seen that coming, and I ended up with the stripper bag.
Yeah. Yeah. I I gotta tell you a funny story about this. Speaking of stripper bags, so there's about authority figures. There's a doctor in the area, and he has these sex dolls delivered
Okay.
to a guy I know, to his address, because he doesn't want to have his name on it, and his wife find out about it. And I'm like, listen, his business. He can do whatever he wants. I don't really care. But the point is, like, these are. I want to get back to like authority figure. These are authority figures that this is the kind of stuff that they do. Like, don't put him on a pedestal as, oh, he's a doctor. He's obviously,
Yeah, he's a doctor.
a normal guy. To me, that's not normal. I don't think
He's
it's
got a
good
white
to
lab
have
coat.
sex dolls, but I don't think it's good to have. Yeah, I don't think it's normal to screw a plastic doll. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I don't think it's good, but
No, it's not good.
no, I think there's something wrong with it. But this is how you should be thinking when you're talking to judges, lawyers, doctors, and past. These are the kind of things that they do. They do this kind of stuff because
Yeah.
I know a guy that does it.
And they're lying.
And it's weird as hell.
Yeah. Somebody just texted me the other day. One of the guys from the chat said he's being attacked by the dolly diddlers. It might be Riff. Riff was being attacked by the dolly diddlers.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
normal. And he's going, no, it's not.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not normal.
That's just another brand of simping. It's like you can't control your impulses. Get back to being asexual.
Yeah, just take a shower. I mean,
Yeah, just take a shower. You're supposed
take a shower.
to be asexual. Like most of your life, you will just, when you're working on your car, you're not thinking about that. When you're working at your job, you're not thinking about that. When you're just diddling around the house, cleaning, doing your laundry, you shouldn't be thinking about that.
Yeah.
Most of the time in your life, there will be opportunities in your life where you think about that.
Yeah, it's even like going to a strip club. That's not normal either. Like when I was in my, okay, I'll admit, when I was in my 20s or early 20s, maybe even late teens. Okay, yeah, I drive by a hustler club, like, oh yeah, maybe I'll go for an hour. It'd be great. Yeah, but now I drive by, like I drove by the other day. There's one right here by the football stadium here in Vegas, and like there's like Larry Hustler Club. I'm like, what kind of freaking loser walks into this place?
Yeah, what kind of loser would go in there and
right?
He thinks, there's guys that think that stripper like them, and that's why I use stripper as an analogy for that.
Yeah, they think they like them.
They think that the stripper likes them. No, the stripper likes the money.
Yeah.
Just refer to them all as strippers.
Yeah, they're just, exactly. No, you're right, but anyway, get back. Like, I hate to go.
He was trying to tell me the stripper was in love with him. It's like,
yeah.
Really?
God, they're so nasty, isn't it? It's so. Yeah, I never understood the sex doll thing. I know, like some people think it's okay, but I just think I think it's almost like you're like a are you a sociopath, or what are you then?
Well, that's called
doll.
That's what is it called? I'm trying to bring it up.
Yeah, there's something there. There's something odd there. There's some type of autism, or there's something going on.
It's an illness. It's paraphernalia. It's an illness.
Okay. Yeah, there's something odd.
If I was dissecting someone's brain and I had to do that anymore, I would say, well, that's paraphernalia.
They have something. Their brains are wired differently, then, right?
Yeah, their brains are wired differently. They think that there's you should. It goes back to what is that called when you can't tell the difference between a dead object and a live object?
Oh, okay, yeah. No.
A cold object. A beetle can't tell the difference between a cold object because it's cold-blooded and a warm object. And when they think a cold object is alive and or it's reciprocating some kind of love or altruism to you, you're sick. You need to go to a doctor. It's paraphernalia, and it's what is that called? I can't remember the name for that. I did a video on it about being able to tell. When you walk up to a dead body, you know it's dead.
Yeah.
It's a human reaction that I think in this world that people are losing that ability to tell the difference between things that are living and things that are, not living.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand how that whole thing is. It's really, I don't get it.
It's the uncanny valley, it's called.
Oh, okay.
The uncanny valley is being able to tell the difference between cold dead object and a live object. It's you
Yeah.
should be able to tell people that have, I've had to see that when you see a dead, you go into a funeral home and you see a dead body, you should know it's dead.
Mhm.
But there's people that are they want to have sex with the dead body. They think it's
Yeah.
dolls,
Yeah.
and it's the same thing. It's like
Yeah.
very disturbing.
Yeah. I don't know how they develop, how their brain develops that way, whether
Yeah,
into
the
that stuff.
unhappy valley switch didn't, the uncanny valley switch didn't come on for them.
Yeah, they're not evolved being. You're not a there's something
But
wrong
these are the
here.
same kind of people. They do things like that. They simp.
Mhm.
They don't have no boundary in that. They don't have no boundary in their
Yeah.
sexual lives. So they don't have no boundaries
Yeah.
and much things. That guy would be humping on a telephone pole. He can't stop that. It's like
Right. I seen that. I was in New Orleans. I seen a guy humping he was. I
telephone.
mean,
Yeah, it's like
I seen him humping a telephone pole. I'm like, what the fuck's this guy doing? Oh, excuse
what's
me.
wrong with you? It's like, yeah,
What's he? What's he
man.
doing?
I go even farther. There's people that can't ride a bicycle. They're cycling adversity. They just fall over. There are people that I don't want in my life. If you have some kind of dysfunction like that where you can't ride a bicycle, I've seen this in people too. I have friends that they will not get on a bicycle because they will just fall over. It's like that kind of science doesn't exist for them.
They fall over, and that spills over into their like mental
Yeah,
illnesses and stuff.
a hearing problem or there's a disconnect between their equilibrium and they just fall
Yeah.
over. And it's like, whoa, I can't have you around me. It's just not that, you know.
Really? Even if they're a
Me and
good
my son
person, though?
always
What do you
have
mean? Like,
people in the
what?
world that are too stupid to ride a bike.
Yeah, yeah. I had a family member like that. It's just like it's just a total. Yeah, SFM used to call it bitch brain.
Yeah, he just
He
had
just
an experience with
he
my
just
son
had
just
the.
had a horrible experience with this girl who he was dating, and he trusted her, and she was one of those. I told him she's too stupid. Like she'd be riding one of my bikes, and she'd just fall over, and I was like, that's a
Yeah,
clear cut indicator that her mind's not working right. And
yeah.
then
The bitch brain. Yeah,
yeah, and then she went and got his identity and emptied his bank account, and then I was like, see, you didn't listen to me.
yeah. Well, and she probably thought it was normal to do something
And
like
that
that.
was
There's nothing
normal.
wrong with it.
Everybody thought
Yeah,
that's what girls do. They
yeah,
get into your credit, they empty your bank account, and it's like, well, there was some indicators there. I told him, I was like, she can't
yeah,
ride a bike.
yeah, yeah. The bitch brain. Yeah, I had a cousin that he was, he had bitch brain for sure. I had to cut off that relationship, because he would
Can
just.
you hold for a second or keep talking? I have a
Oh
knock on
yeah,
the door. I think my buddy's coming to get us stuff.
yeah, yeah. No problem, no problem. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I had a buddy who had a cousin who had bitch brain, and he would always say like the most inappropriate things at the most inappropriate times. So, so if you have a friend like that, you might want to start getting away from them. It's not a positive thing to be around those types of people. You know, So it's okay to be critical of family members and friends. I mean, especially if you're a MGTOW, you've already kind of conquered the mountain, so to speak, and they got to come to your level. As a MGTOW, other people have to come to our level. I honestly believe we are the most evolved people on this planet. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. People think the elite are people with resources and wealth, and that's just not true. I think it's the people that have the most freedom and joy. I think those are the people that are the most evolved for sure. I mean, and I think that's going to be a man that's a MGTOW. There's some females that have joy and they're smart, but they're just not. I don't think because of their DNA. I don't think they're as I don't think they're as evolved. But that was a tough one. I had a relationship with my friend for 35 years. I had to end it because he was the kind of guy that wasn't maturing as he got older. Those are the kind of people you evaluate people in your life. If you have people you've known for 20, 30, 40 years and they're still essentially the same person that they were when they were, as teenagers or in their 20s, and they haven't matured, in decades, those are people that you might want to reconsider hanging out with. But those are difficult things to do. I've done it many times. I've gone galt. Like my best year was when I went galt. One of the best years of my life is when I went galt. I went about maybe, I want to say 2 years. Just got rid of my cell phones. Didn't talk to. Well, it's probably closer to a year. I didn't talk to anyone for about a good year. Joe, you there? Anyway, I went a good year. I didn't even talk to anybody. I would just kind of listen to MGTOW stuff and read a lot. So I was able to do that, and that was one of the best years. I had so much peace. I slept great. I was able to really evaluate my life and where I wanted to go with it, and I think that's a good thing. I would also recommend writing down your goals. Writing down your goals. Have like a where you want to be in 3 to 6 months. 2 to 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Just have an idea, because you don't want to squander opportunities because you're not organized and don't know where you want to go. So set some goals on what you want to do. Obviously, a good thing is evaluating your retirement age too.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I was just talking about a few things, Joe. Like evaluate your friendships. You know what I mean? And one of the things I said is like, if you have a friend that you've known for say for 10, 20, 30 years and they haven't matured over the years, that might be something you want to reconsider as a friend.
They're not of MGTOW quality.
Yeah, especially if they're a simp, of course. But
yeah, they're simp and they're not mature properly. But that's part of being a simp too. You don't mature properly with age.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly.
You get a hard bark around 40.
Well, it's like these guys, like you said, they don't know how to cook their own meals. They don't know how to do the laundry. They don't know how. They don't know how. Yeah,
some of these guys that never made their bed in life, they still want a mommy.
Yeah. Well, it's getting comfortable in your own skin too. That's why I like to get in nature, and I like to go by myself. I don't like to spend time with other people that much, really. I like to just spend time alone and ride my bike. I enjoy my own company.
Yeah, riding a bike's the greatest thing in the whole world. I do it a lot, and I go down to the park, and like I take the trails down, wave to people, be happy. That's gets my peptides or my endorphins up and everything. I feel better. I'm clearer. I'm not depressed. I look at go find the interest that interests me. That's I'm a rock hound, so I go look at things and I look at the nature, and I like to look at the plants and the foliage, and wow, that's interesting, and this is interesting, and this, and do that, and rather than what most people do is sit around, drink, and try to pick up girls. That's which one's gonna get you farther in life.
Yeah. Well, another thing I brought up too is have a retirement age, or have an idea when you want to retire.
When you want that, I wish I could have did that in my life. I can tell you I'm the biggest failure in life about that. It's like, because I was married for so many years, I trusted that thing, and it got the rug pulled out from me. And then, hey, sometimes you learn, the smartest guys in the world was, sometimes they got to learn by experience. And that was just one of my experiences. That's why I say, hey, she gave me the best lesson of my life. I never had to pay attention to those rules they say were in place. And that was my fault. As I read the article, and I didn't do the truth test on it.
Yeah. I know. Well, that's a hard thing. When you're born, I was born Catholic. It's like, my mother would go to church every Sunday, and I was an altar boy and all this kind of stuff. And you just think, oh, this is normal. This is
normal. This is normal.
I was like, you go to these weddings.
But I seen it work for my father, and I thought, well, that was
right.
But things changed, and I got, I was born in that time where the rug got pulled out from under me.
Yeah, you don't see it coming, and then I know it's That's all you can do is just kind of, like you said, like survival. At least you're surviving. You got a
Yeah,
roof over your head. You got food to eat. It's like, those other things are just material things a lot of times that,
yeah.
you know,
There's things you do about that. Getting closure. Talked about. I got closure on that, and started like, oh, well, that was a lot of my misinterpretation of how the world really works, and that was my fault. As
yeah,
soon as I
well,
started taking responsibility for what was my fault, that's why I
yeah,
said, forgive your sins. It's like,
yeah,
get through them, figure out what's your fault, take that introspection. That's why the introspection is so important.
right,
You do
right.
the introspection, and then, okay, that was my fault. I won't do that mistake again.
Yeah. Like me quitting, like, a bunch of good jobs because I had a bad day, or
Okay,
whatever, or I didn't like them.
where am I at fault on this thing? Was I too angry? Why was I angry? I had
Yeah,
to go through this just a couple months ago. My son had to witness me beat some guy's ass because I was getting angry, and I wasn't doing
yeah,
my. It's like man, I was okay. I can see my fault. But he was definitely wrong in that. But
yeah,
should I have acted that way? No, no. I should. I'll take my part, in that, and next time I'll handle that differently.
yeah. The only time I'll beat someone's ass is if they lay their hands on me. That's about it. I don't
Yeah,
know if that's what happened
just
in your
trying to
situation.
steal from me, and it's like you're trying to steal from me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's definitely he probably deserved
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that'll get
Try
you.
to steal your bike? Not your bike.
No, he's trying to. He was just trying to pull a scam for money, and he was
Oh
shot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Like,
bad. Well,
no.
you probably helped the guy out. He deserved
Yeah,
the
I helped
beating.
him out before, and he thought that I was some target or something. Don't mistake, kindness for weakness.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Yep. I know. I know. It's crazy, man.
It's a
People are
big
just,
mistake people
but
make.
like they're missing something in their frontal cortex, though. There's something going
Right,
on there,
they're
man.
missing there's something in that didn't tell them
Yeah.
that bad idea, and
Yeah.
that's what the frontal cortex is for. So you can, it's if your frontal cortex is working too fast, then you're not doing that thing where your frontal cortex has one job. It's telling you to stop and think about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't think we should give psychopaths or sociopaths a pass on anything, but
No,
a lot of times that's what they don't have a fully developed
they don't
brain,
have
right?
a fully developed frontal cortex where they can stop
Yeah.
and think whether that's a good idea or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most men
But they're
have.
better.
There's a penal area on the
Yeah.
right side or left side. I can't remember which one. It's a gland that most men are born with that stops our thinking for a second, a split second. It lets our frontal cortexes do less work so we can think about what's important and if this is right and if this is wrong. And it
Mhm.
stops your thoughts. Otherwise, we would just be apes just beating things with sticks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the
It's too
Sims,
bad.
just like apes, like whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, we see the world as it is. It's like we know it's a predatory world, and
Yeah,
women are the biggest predators, and those are hard things to accept. But the earlier you can accept those things, the better you can design a life that's gonna,
right. Yeah,
benefit yourself.
yeah. Seeing what's truth in life, that's your responsibility. It's like reading the
Right.
article. Your
Right.
responsibility to figure out whether that's wrong or right.
Right. Right.
You have
You
to,
like my sisters. I never thought they would do this to me.
yeah, it's
But
no,
they did.
stop,
And
go, or no, I'll look at it and then stop, or I can go. It's always
hmm
going to be no, stop, go.
hmm hmm Yeah. So that's the thing. We have to acknowledge it and then set healthy boundaries. Like if somebody disrespects you, I mean,
Yeah,
like the
is
guy
that
that,
that's
yeah,
that's not a sign of something wrong with you. That's a sign of something's wrong with them.
right, right,
And he's like, "Whoa, we don't have that kind of relationship."
yeah,
And that's inappropriate. Now I'm really starting to think about it. Like, do we have? I ask that question to a lot of people. Do we have that kind of relationship?
my move is just to
Look at
ignore.
me.
Like I just don't. I just go no contact.
Yeah,
But like I said, they lay their hands on me, then we got a fucking
yeah.
problem. We got a
My
problem.
twin brother, he's a little more. He's a little more. He, he's got that. He doesn't do it either, and he puts a big wall out, and it's like, look at me, because you better consider what's going to happen on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a little meaner than me, and to the
Yeah.
day he dies, and
I'm, yeah. I remember I was at a bar once in college, and this drunk guy spilled some beer on me. I could tell he kind of did it on purpose, and then I'm like, man, should I bust his face or should? And then I just thought to myself, the guy's drunk. He doesn't know what he's doing. I just let it go, and I just stood by him. And I just looked at him, and I said, if he does it again, if he lays a hand on me, then I'm gonna do something. But he didn't do it. He kind of like half-heartedly apologized, and I let it go. And I'll never forget that day because he was so much smaller than me, and he was like I would have, I don't know what like I would have, the fight would have been like, wouldn't even been a fight. You know what I mean?
right.
So I just let it go. I just let it go.
Guys like us don't fight. We think of something really evil to do to people.
Yeah. Well, like my friend Richie, I used to play poker with this guy. He was a plumber. He was a kind of a wise guy plumber kind of thing. And it was the last guy you messed with because if you did something to him, he would plan it out for like 3-4 years. So he would get his revenge in like 3 to 4 years, so you wouldn't know it was him.
Right, revenge is best served cold.
Oh, he was just incredible. Like the stuff he would do, he would be the kind of guy that would put like sugar in your gas tank, like stuff like that, and who the hell did that, or he would take like salt and put it in your, water coolant, whatever. He would just do something like mess with your car, or steal your tires, whatever.
I had a friend like that. He actually called me over one day and I said, what are you looking at? And he said, watch. And this guy had got him a couple years before that. And he filled the car with garbage and he shit on the dashboard.
Oh my God.
He said, watch. And then we started walking up and the guy's like pulling the shit out and he's bitching and he goes, remember when you did that to me? And he just let him know right there. It's like, don't ever think you can get away with anything with me.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to have these Joker poker machines in the card club.
Yeah.
And I don't know, somebody pissed Richie off and he, like 6 months later, like the whole machine was gone and all the money, like because he was good with mechanical stuff.
Yeah.
So he like stole the machine and he got in he's like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
He got in there when nobody was there. He stole the machine. There was like thousands of dollars in there. And he's stealing from guys that you're not supposed to steal from, right?
Oh, that's
but he was not the guy to mess with, he wasn't the guy to mess with.
You know what you did, it's like, let's not have this conversation again.
Yeah. He liked me though, but he was a Christian. He's like, because I'm a Christian, really. I love Jesus. I'm like, Richie. I said, come on, man.
I would talk about that. It's important. Like one of the rules with AAs, and you have to, when I put people through therapy and stuff, it's like one of the things is becoming aware of what you did and make amends for it. But that goes 2 ways in life. If somebody did something to you and that's prying on your brain, and it's like me or you even, it's like most men, we'll let that shit pry on our brain forever. No, you got to get even.
Yeah, I think so.
That you have to get even because then it goes away, and that's not prying on your brain anymore.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to, and it might be something a little evil you do or something, or passive aggressively. But as long as you get back to straight on that, and you can start thinking that doesn't bother you because you're letting them rent space in your mind.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing about this guy Richie. He would do shit, and then he would say, we go to the diner after the card games. It'd be like 4 a.m, and he'd be like, "Oh, I read my Bible yesterday. I was crying," and he's like, "It goes like the Christianity thing about forgiveness."
Yeah.
Like you can be a dick, and then God will forgive you the next day. It's kind of that's what they do, though. That's the kind of scams that they pull.
You don't be a dick in life, and that's my thing about when I go out there. It's like the photographs. It's like I tell every person I meet how much I appreciate them being there to fill the shelves and do that stuff, and you just be nice because that pays off 10 times better. It's for you. It's not for them. Just don't be a dick. dick. When you're a dick in life, people come gunning for you.
Yeah, like this guy that works at the store out here, like I always say, hey, how's it going? And then a couple of times, I used to get this chicken. It was like 2 for 10.
Yeah.
So I thought it was 2 for 10. I just grabbed them, but next thing you know, the price came up like $16. I'm like, oh man, there's a mistake here. It should be 2 for 10, but it came up $16. He goes, oh no, they're not on sale anymore. But I'll do it for you. I'll make
Yeah.
it 2 for 10
You treat them
today.
nice, treat people
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he took care of me. He gave me a six, he gave me the old price. So yeah, it was
So
like stuff like that. You're right. It goes a long way. You're absolutely right.
retarded chicken girls, you got to be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And you're going to end up with an extra tender in your box. And you're like, hey,
Yeah.
that's great. It makes my day.
I pulled your move today too. I went to go pick up these pool keys, and they're working on Saturday. They usually don't work Saturday, and they got these fob keys. Or
Yeah.
FOB, I don't know. So I go to Leigh. I go, hey, thanks for being here.
Thanks
And
for
she
being
like her eyes. Thanks for being here on a Saturday or whatever.
Wow.
Her eyes lit up like, oh,
Hey,
you're welcome. Like
sometimes
nobody
people
probably said that to her that day.
acknowledge that they're doing a good job, and you acknowledge it, and you're not such a dick. And
Yeah. Yeah, I think
because
I was probably the only person to say that to her. Like, thanks for being here today.
you would like that too. Someone tell you did a good job. And
Yeah.
thanks.
No, you're right. It goes a long way. That's a part of
Goes
being
a long
MGTOW. Like you
way.
said, we clean our side of the
We
street, like you
clean our
say.
side of the street, right?
Right. We have a higher standard.
Yeah.
We're at a higher standard. Well, these married guys, they'll do anything for my family.
It's like, yeah, the simps are like, anytime they can throw you under the bus, they will, and they'll try to
Yeah.
forget about that. They'll leave you in a wreck.
Yeah, well, like my experience, like the people that always screwed me were married people, pretty much 90% of the time, 95% of the time. It's always married people, man
Yeah,
or woman,
Jigsaw said, drop them juice boxes. You got to have them pudding cups, man. Drop them
Yeah.
pudding cups everywhere.
I dropped the juice boxes. Yeah. I was staying over my Simps. I was staying over my Simp friend, dude. I remember that. You remember last summer? I was staying with my Simp friend and his girlfriend.
Yeah,
It was like I was in a freaking Vietnam, fighting
yeah.
the
Sorry you
whatever.
had to go through that.
I was in a Vietnam landmine field.
Yeah, landmine field, and that's what we described them events as. I got to maneuver this this landmine field every day of my life. I better start thinking about what brought me to that field, and never have that happen again.
No, I put myself in a bad spot because I trusted my Simp friend.
Yeah,
That's where it started.
Yeah,
He's like, oh, it's not going to be that bad. She doesn't come around that often. Next thing you know, she was there for like 3 weeks straight. And it was an absolute disaster. She knocked on my door like at 2, 3 in the morning, like 2 or 3 times. Like, hey, what are you doing? I'm trying to sleep, you dumb freaking stripper.
Yeah, you know how that's going to work. And it's like, okay, I can't do this. I can't do this in my life. It's too hard. It all gets too hard when I start doing that thing with simps and it's from lunches to wherever, to their personal life. I can't do that with them no more.
No,
because it makes my life harder.
That's right. And I think eventually I'm going to, I'm going to keep my house here, but eventually I'm going to go back to upstate New York. East. And yeah, I don't know when, but now if I get this remote job, it will work out great because I can do 6 months, 6 months. That's what I want to do. I want to do 6 months on the East Coast, 6 months on the West Coast.
Upper New York in the summer.
Yeah. But the main thing is just I want my solitude. I want to have solitude, and
there's probably no better mountain biking or Upper New York if the trails and parks and when you get up into the forest up there. It's like,
especially out in central New York, we got Green Lakes Park and
Finger Lake.
It's amazing. You've seen Green Lakes, Round Lake, and Green Lake, and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. The same thing here, and it's amazing here in the summer. And I'd like to be out of here in the winter. I had to go through another one.
Come out! I told you, come out.
Yeah, I know. I tell my son.
I got an extra room. I got my one buddy living with me, and then we have 3 rooms. So the other room is just storage.
Yeah, we had the transition happen, and my son's here now, and the other guy left, so I got. And his hard, and so we had.
You're welcome anytime. But the weather's getting better where you are now, right?
Yeah, we was out. I've been just waiting. It's been so gloomy, and it's at that end where you're just so sick of it. It's like if I just want to, the leaves start popping, and my life cheers up, and I spend a little more time in the park. I'll ride every day to the park, and I get the favorite little stream I go to, and I'll work my way back into the woods and up where the ledges are. We have a river here, so it drops off, and there's big ledges, and then go investigate. I want to see that stuff.
Yeah.
Whether what I'm doing, like I said, I was going to do a study on the beetle, the ash beetle this year.
Yeah.
And turn that in, and or if I can find something more interesting, I'll look around and see what's interesting out there and do a study on it and submit it, and use my time for what's great, improving my mind, learning, and you can still do that. You don't have to go to college to do that anymore. We're well past those days but I can go out and learn something and really have a great day doing it too.
Yeah, there's nothing better than getting in nature for sure. Like especially when you're near a lake or river, there's always a spot too. Every city has a spot.
Yeah, I mean, up in your area and my area too, it's like you might find something really interesting. There's places where there hasn't been a human footprint in 100 years. You might find some Indian artifacts or where an old log cabin was at, and you get to look around, and
you could find a Hoka footprint, maybe.
Yeah, you find where Hoka lived 160 years ago, and he was like rooting it out, and
yeah,
they'll have big statues there to him, like the Hoka statue.
Yeah, it'll be the Steak and Shake Monument.
The Steak and Shake Monument of 1860. Yeah. This was the first Steak and Shake, and Hoka visited it. That's what made it.
Yeah.
That's still funny today.
Yeah. He's a legend, isn't he? Pretty much.
He's a legend. The only guy ever to walk across Lake Erie.
No, he walked on the water. He walked on the water. Yeah, he did. He walked across it. Yeah, with yeah. That's right. The only guy. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I think remote jobs are great because you can do those type of things. I think that's a really good thing to pursue. Like, because you have more freedom, more flexibility to do different things.
Yeah.
You're not stuck in one place.
Yeah, you might find that there's an opportunity somewhere. Like if you pique your interest in something, like something so stupid, it's like you might find, well, there's opportunity to make some money here, or learn something, or do this kind of work, like that I never thought was there. Some kind of anthropology work, or the biology and flora of your area. Someone might want to pay you for that report.
Yeah, just dig in and just figure it out. There's so many opportunities.
It doesn't have to be normal stuff that everybody does. Matter of fact, the farther you veer from normal stuff that everybody does, is like the unique, and it's like that's what people would pay you for.
Yeah.
People don't do
that. Like I have a friend. She works for a big company, and she works really weird hours because she has to work with the people in Israel, and it's like she works at 1 a.m. sometimes to do conferences with these people in Israel,
right?
And she makes a lot of money, but that's a lot of people aren't willing to do that, right? They're not willing to work at that hour.
That's another thing. You can learn a different language if you're a polyglot. You can do that,
and you can do those things in your MGTOW. You can do those things and make different transitions, and because when you got a woman in there and she's why do you want to do that for? Like she's just trying to get the most money, like for you to make the most money. She doesn't care about what you want out of life.
Yeah, I had my ex-family member of mine. That's how he got his job. He's a maintenance guy, and then he spoke German, and he was raised in a German family, and he spoke German. And the German company that bought him, nobody knew how to speak German. He's like, it's like, anybody know how to speak German? And he got a job. He moved him up into management because he spoke German, and he had an okay personality. And hey. Sometimes there's opportunity in your silly little pursuits. Even you land. It's like, wow, I landed that one.
Yeah. Exactly. Be creative and
way too. It was never the sometimes it was the things that I didn't think were going to work out that seemed silly to me that worked out.
Yeah, I know. No, it's true.
It's like I was just not looking at it the right way, and I was looking at it sideways.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people want their security. They're not, you know.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's what women want. That's what women want.
They
They
want
just want
security. They want,
security. Yeah, they don't want a risk taking, you know, husband or, you know. So they're you know they're steering. Yeah, you lose you lose. Didn't you have a friend like that? He was building doors or something. Then his wife said, "Why do you want to do that for?" Or
yeah, yeah.
something. Or something.
The doorman. They called him the
Yeah,
doorman.
he
He
built the business. Then he built the
doors
business.
up.
Right? He divorced her.
He
Or something.
yeah, he started putting big doors up, truck doors, and learned that business. And he started leaving his little stickers on every door. That he'd go by and a company would have the door open. He'd tear the other sticker off and put his sticker on there. And then when it come down to fixing it, they would always call the sticker.
Yeah, yeah,
He showed me
yeah,
that one. He's like, hey, every time you go through a doorway, keep a little sticker by you and put your name down there. And then who are they going to call to fix the door? You.
yeah,
Just one of those little tricks.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Pursue your. That's the thing. Another thing about MGTOW too is like we can pursue our.
We were both
You
sitting in
know.
at the bar early. It was like a Friday afternoon, and we both had the day off. And we were talking
Mhm.
about why we have the day off. He said, because I can afford to have the day off. And
Yeah.
and he told me his trick, and that was one of his tricks. And as I shared some of my tricks with him, it's like, how do you get the day off?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I
Uh,
stopped for what are those little rye bread sandwiches with the hamburger on it?
Oh yeah, with a
Patty
little
melt.
Swiss cheese.
Yeah,
Swiss
with the
cheese.
Swiss cheese, and that's delicious. And you
Russian
only get
Thousand Island dressing.
yeah, with 1,000 you can only get a good one at the bar. They don't make
Yeah.
restaurant ones suck, and it's like if you find the right bar that makes those patty melts, it's like
Yeah.
keep that, write that down. This place I want to go for a patty melt.
Yeah. Pickle on the side.
Yeah, the pickle
Yeah.
on the side is important too. If they don't use a kosher pickle, it's like, what did you serve me? It's like dill.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why MGTOW has been great to me because I was able to, you know, when I got sick of living out here in the desert, I was like, I just went back to where I went to
Oh yeah,
college, and then I rediscovered that whole area. Like I didn't even
right. You're
know
seeing it.
about those parks, and yeah, I was like, yeah, I didn't even. I came to a greater appreciation of nature. But I
Right.
wasn't able. But if I had a wife and 3 kids, they would be like, "Honey, can I move? What do you
Right.
want
I
to do
would
that
still
for?
be in the
The kids
city.
are in school, or blah 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 blah." You know, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, I would just my too. I live out here because I don't have to because I appreciate it. And, I would still be in the city hustling, and
Right, right,
I would
right.
have.
So in a lot of ways, I hate to say, but she might have. You know, it's good that she broke it off when she did. Imagine you'd be still married right now.
Yeah, imagine being miserable, still married. Nobody would know me. I would have been just a regular guy, probably halfway dead right now, getting ready to tuck it in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like that doctor. I mean, I feel so bad for this guy.
She'd probably had two insurance policies paid off on me.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
waiting for that
You never
special.
know. Is it right? Well, she tried to kill you, but
Yeah, waiting for that special day when I croak.
yeah.
And then
Well,
she,
it's like my friend. He's a simp. He gets abused. Like she physically punches him too. And I'm like, what are you waiting for her to kill you before you break up with her? He's still dating her. He's still dating her. Imagine that. And he takes pictures of him. So that's how goofy this guy is. Like I hate to almost call him a friend, but he's one. I've known him for like 20 years, you know. But like the thing is, like he takes pictures of himself with a bruised eye, you know.
oh, is he still taking pictures of himself with his shirt off? Like,
Yeah.
am I still good enough for
No, no.
her?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, this guy, that's how, like, what are you waiting for her to, like, put you in intensive care before you break up with her?
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
going to be on a typewriter. You know, those guys in intensive care, they can't talk, so they have to use a typewriter. He's going to have to put it on the typewriter. Okay, I'm breaking up with you now.
Yeah.
And on the
That's so sad.
typewriter.
A lot of men in marriages get abused, and they just
Yeah.
don't say it. They don't report it. They don't say it. They never say, no, this is not good enough for me.
Yeah.
Somehow they
I,
believe that they should just take the abuse.
when I was about 21, maybe I moved into this dorm, and this guy was maybe a year or two younger than me. He was dating this Indian woman who, like, if you didn't know her, you think she was like the sweetest thing. But then he lived like across the hall, and she would start going psycho on him, like punching him and all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and just abusing him like physically and verbally, and he would just take it like with a smile on his face, like he thought it would, like back then. I guess you're 21, you don't, like, I'm saying to myself, like in my MGTOW, pre MGTOW mind or whatever, like, are you nuts? Like, are you gonna put up with this stuff?
Yeah. What would you
Like,
put?
yeah, I didn't say nothing to him because I didn't know him that well, but I used to interact with him a little bit, and he was going to law school. I'm sure he's a lawyer now, but
I just
that's
had
crazy, man.
with another friend of mine. Just the girl was just going off, and then finally he's like figured out that she was bipolar, and I was like, "What?" And then we talked about it. It's like you don't have to deal with that. That's not your burden to carry. That's hers, and she's bipolar. She's going to go off on you in the weirdest spots.
Yeah, I guess he just thought it was normal to be
Yeah,
treated that way, or like you say, I think it was her chemicals that addicted him to
yeah.
her, and he
The
was like, I'll put up with this shit to get
yeah,
to
he
get the
puts up
this
with
will
it.
be.
Endorphins and the oxytocins and that stuff, and
Yeah,
he's addicted to them. Yeah, most guys are. They like that feeling. It gives you the feeling of everything's okay. And
yeah,
most guys, even me right now, I know that everything's not okay, but I'm willing to live there. These guys get these oxytocins and neuroserephrine and whatever, is running around in their brain, and it gives them the feeling that everything's okay. But that's a bad feeling. That's a misleading feeling. Everything is not okay.
yeah. No, it's not, and
You'll know in your life when everything's okay, and you can, because you
yeah,
did a good job. You know, that fake everything's okay feeling that you get from a personal relationship with a woman, that's not okay because she might be the one that hurts you.
yeah.
If you're addicted to that, it's like you're in danger. It's like danger, danger, Will Robinson.
And there's no exceptions either. Every woman is trouble. There's no positive value. You can take the closest thing to a unicorn, and she's still going to bring negative value to your
There's
life.
going to be something negative, whether you're
Yeah,
willing to accept it. They'll extend the chains of how much you're going to put up with, and that's your personal business. But I would suggest pulling those back into a normal area. What's normal, what's not normal.
I used to laugh at these women. Like sometimes, you go through these. Like I look through it, like Instagram sometimes. Like I don't know, and like some women think they're unicorns. They'll actually put a unicorn on their Instagram pages or
Oh, they know
Facebook
the
pages.
theory. They know the theory of So that's what they're saying is like they know that there's some guy out there that puts her on a pedestal and thinks she's a unicorn.
Right. But they think that they think themselves that they're unicorn, or well, I don't know. At least these women that on their
Believe
Facebook page that put
yeah,
the unicorn.
they start believing it. That's real dangerous because they believe that lie.
Right, right. They believe that lie that they're that great,
Yeah.
that they're special, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all they are is a
But they
walking.
deserve to be taken care of better because that's what you see a lot. They deserve to be taken care of better, and then they start believing that they deserve. You got to pay them for that. You got to pay for that. Because she's so deserving of that. That's
Yeah,
when it's really dangerous. And guys put up with it. We'll have names for it in MGTOW and but it's just an illness that she has where she thinks she's worth more than she is.
yeah, yeah,
And some guys, she's worth that much for them.
yeah, yeah.
Weird. I think it's weird, and
It's
I would
definitely
spot.
weird.
MGTOW would spot it in a minute. You would spot it in a minute, but
Hmm.
there are the simp mentality where they won't spot it. They think that's normal that they have to pay for it, and
Yeah, yeah,
get into like, oh, I'll pay the rest of my life, and that's what they're looking for. That weekly check that
yeah,
goes forever. That's the jackpot.
yeah. I remember my buddy telling me one of his ex-girlfriends used to, when she needed something from her father, she would just start pouting and
Yeah,
stomping her feet, literally stomping her feet and pout, and then he would
yeah.
eventually give in.
Oh, what is that? The
That's the
poem?
kind of father he was. Yeah.
Yeah, the poem that I have up. You go listen to that poem.
Yeah. Imagine that being in your mid-20s and stomping your feet and pouting to get what, it happens all the time, though. That's what women do all the time. They think it's normal. Or obviously the fake crying. That's really annoying.
Yeah,
I laugh now when women cry. I kind of laugh.
it's like
Because you know what they're doing. You know what they're doing.
emotionally they're trying to get some empathy from you, and most men will just they give that out for free.
Yeah.
And that leads to empathy leads to a payday for them.
Right. That's right.
That's more conscious by concern. They not put those masks on.
They kind of like you, because you can tell, like, if you see a woman crying and you just ignore her, like, you could tell they'll like stop her. They want, like, say they want a reaction specifically out of you, and
Yeah,
they know you're not going to acknowledge it. They'll they'll stop their bullshit right away. They won't waste any more
right.
energy.
Yeah, they won't waste no more energy on you. I
Yeah.
love that psychedelic furs song where he goes like this. He goes,
What does he do?
oh, the psychedelic furs when he says she'll put a mask on
Yeah.
and he goes like
Yeah.
that. 1980s song, psychedelic furs, love my way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did a real MGTOW thing.
Yeah. There's not a lot of like MGTOW role models out there besides you and, I don't know, a handful of people now. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
You see anything out there? I don't even. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I see a lot of MGTOWs that are simping a little bit and they don't understand. And that's the problem. They don't understand. And,
Yeah.
the spaghetti dinner guy, what was his name?
Oh yeah, Darius.
There, you knew that he wasn't a MGTOW. It's like,
No, no, no.
but he, making money, and this was just another hit for him.
I could almost guarantee he's got at least one or two kids, maybe more.
Yeah, he was using MGTOW. Some of these guys they're donating money to him, and he was using it to pay for his. There was the other latte guy that was using money.
Well, Joe, the cost of spaghetti's gone up now the
Yeah, the
last
cost
few
of
years.
spaghetti's gone up. I don't know if he's down to it. I hope he has the best of luck in the world, but just don't do that around here where you're gonna, do that simping stuff and Chef Boyardee's, going to get you in trouble because we don't do them things. I mean, we don't do those flat. We don't do them.
No, we don't date. We don't.
Yeah.
No, if you're a MGTOW and you're dating, you're not a MGTOW. Don't think you're a MGTOW.
Yeah, I've got AIDS. What?
Yeah, we gave you the right excuses to say.
Yeah, but okay, it's getting late here, and it's been going 3.5 hours. I'm thinking about wrapping this up and going to talk to my son out there.
Yeah, no. Thanks for the podcast. I just end it. Yeah, to say men have to, empowering yourself is really one of the most important things in life, and the best way to do it is going MGTOW. So that's what I'll encourage every man to do.
Learn yourself, do your introspections. You'll be a better person, happier person. You'll be a richer person. There ain't nothing that it's not going to cover. You get pocket aces, and
yeah. Yes, sir.
Is that your summation?
We're winning.
We're winning. And I'd like to thank every guy for coming around here and just you can spend some time listening to us. And I hope you learned something today, or it struck some note where you can apply some good in your life. And most of all, thanks for coming around and thanks for being MGTOW. MGTOW.